to hang on to. Or something like that. So
if that's the case, you know.
Where is it? Like,
especially for old people.
Charlottesville. So I was at a public lavatory in Charlottesville, and they had squat public washrooms. So there's just holes, and sometimes there's a bar. So you can hold onto the bar while squatting, and then when you're done, you go and wash up.
Wait, where was this?
What?
Charlottesville. It's
Michigan, right?
In France.
Oh, there's a city.
Because I'd only ever.
Charlevoix. I'm
Okay.
thinking of.
Because I've never spent
Possibly.
any like that in. I've been one in China, like a party that you had.
Oh yeah.
But never in like Europe or the US. I didn't know they had them in France.
I haven't seen one in the US.
I've seen them in Asia. That's it.
Is that the game? That's not the game right here. This is just
Why don't we have bidets?
It's just
I know.
I'm like really upset about it.
Yeah, instead we waste all this fucking paper
Yeah.
for no reason.
And it's
Paper on
not
what?
as good as
Typing.
bidets.
Yeah, I think one of our next investments.
Oh god,
is
no.
gonna be a bidet.
Bidets are already taken by a D&D stream. We can't do this, guys.
What?
Oh, man.
Really?
But it's
Critical
an important
role.
topic.
When
Oh,
you
yeah.
Critical Role like greets their fans.
Joel has a bidet.
critters.
Oh.
I'm not
How the
surprised
hell
in the
did he get
slightest.
one?
You get he says you can buy a portable one for like $15.
Wait,
20 bucks.
what?
You can, but
That's what he said.
just what's the
Portable.
value? I guess.
I have no idea.
I wonder.
I mean, if that's effective enough, then the value is probably decently high with all the toilet paper.
But then you got to look at what do you call curb appeal? When the guest comes into your washroom, your bathroom, and they see like a thing of plastic kind of hanging off the edge of this toilet, that's just not as handsome as a proper bidet.
Shut your face.
So like,
as a. I thought you were gonna say it's
as a porcelain throne.
I thought you were as like it's not as appealing as the toilet paper option.
No, as an actual bidet.
Face.
the Bandai practices has a bidet.
You misunderstand me.
Yeah, sorry.
So the Bandai practices, you walk into the bathroom, there's like this elevated toilet seat, which is the bidet, and you can see the things that come out and spray up. And I'm like, I haven't used it yet, but.
Well,
Wait,
it's
where
there.
is-
0 viewers.
At our band practice.
Like in the US?
Yeah. In
Where do you all practice?
we practice out near past Chardon. What is that? Middle.
I think we already got a new follow. Thanks, The Right.
Oh, we're
follow.
streaming?
Yeah, we are. So I guess talking about bidets nets us followers.
Poop's important, right?
You know, there was this book that I had when I was a kid that was called Understanding Your Poop or Your Poop and You or something, and it went through the different kinds of fecal matter that is common and what each kind means.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting book.
What does it mean if it's orange?
You should see a
See a
doctor.
doctor.
What if
Oh,
it's
dear.
green?
What if you don't have?
Green is
moisture?
actually
Green is
not
totally
that weird.
fine,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, that's
green
okay.
is actually pretty okay.
Okay.
If it's white, it means your liver's failing.
Anyway, so D&D.
If it's yellow,
And
you're
if you're-
Where
offended.
there's shit all in the streets because we don't have indoor plumbing yet.
We do
probably
have
was,
indoor
though.
plumbing.
In the streets, no. I find a feat.
Fair.
Wait.
Jasna has indoor plumbing.
Really? Wait.
She's an artificer. She probably could, yeah.
How does one place have an indoor plumbing?
How do you
She
have
developed her own
indoor
well
plumbing?
and
Where does it
all
go
this,
to? Just into a stream?
Yeah, just into a stream.
No, like a septic tank.
No, we're not
She's
that
got
advanced.
She's got a bag of holding. You understand?
I mean, what's that water good for? You don't use it anyways.
That's right. It's the same one that she throws all her dead.
when Garrett was
Garrett.
saved from drowning, just dumped it all out, just a pile of shit. This is fine. This is all okay. No
No,
problems
that's
here.
wolf poop.
I promise.
Oh my god.
I'm ready.
All right, so
My
D&D.
body is ready.
Last time, I don't have a thing written up, so I can't do the ridiculous summary I did for the other group, but we'll do a normal one. I'll get to it later. So last time, y'all were continuing your trip from Fort Sal up north to Opytro on the Great Darren River to find passage towards Aquileia, the next destination where you believe you will find a relic weapon. You had recovered from the well and went back to it to try and sort of cover it over and make sure that none others would fall to the same ill fate that Garrick nearly did. And while you had returned and were finishing up your business there, fixing it so that it was safe for other travelers, Azareth appeared once again unto you, and she was none too pleased with the group at this meeting.
Wait a minute, what did I do?
Informing,
You didn't do anything.
finding out that it was Garrick who had set loose this ancient evil. Her ire was mostly directed towards him after that revelation, but before it was just kind of equal opportunity rage.
That's fair.
She informs the party that they have let loose an ancient demon known as the Lord of Tempests, and is chastising Garrick about the ramifications of his actions and the destruction that he is allowed to be sown in this world as the demon lord rampages across the plain. The following night, Norwyn actually sees an electrical storm on the horizon that he thinks may be connected to the release of this demon. In the next parts of your travel, you come across a statue that Norwyn recognizes from his visions in the obsidian skulls. It is the heart awash in glory, a woman in robes that are very much religious in origin, with a heart across the left breast that has these sort of waves of light shining forth from it. He recognizes this figure, and the group goes about sort of investigating the statue. Jasna decapitates it and discovers a mechanism within that, when activated magically, causes the statue to peer in two different directions. One back towards the northwest over her left shoulder, and then one towards the south and a little bit west, but not as far as the first, to over her right shoulder. Marking down these locations, the group does move on and finishes out the day of otherwise uneventful travel. The following day, y'all came across actually, I might have gotten this order mixed up. I think you came upon the ruins first. So the day before that, Garrick spotted a dilapidated building on the horizon and went up to investigate it with Morthos, who had turned invisible, and found out a good bit about this sort of structure. It seemed to be a monastery or religious establishment from before the scouring. They discovered a few very intriguing things within its walls. Not the least of which was a trap set by an unknown entity that went off on Morthos and rendered him not actually dead, but in a semblance of death. And only very barely escaped being burned upon a pyre by his company, who believed him to be passed on. However, before nearly burning their friend, the party did
Someone
find...
accidentally pushed his chest and he went.
He didn't say love, he said too late. What is that?
It's a Princess Bride reference, everyone.
Yeah.
He's only
It's
mostly
a what
dead.
reference?
Princess Bride.
Oh.
He's only mostly dead.
But mostly dead, he's partly alive. Before almost burning their friend, however, the party does discover a chest. Jasna rummages through it and finds several interesting artifacts, one of which is a very detailed map of the northern section of the Scaran Mountains that seems to reveal cities and establishments that do not exist any longer. And also line up with a few very early on hints that the party got as to the location of another annulus. This, among a couple of very intriguing, geometrically nearly impossible shapes that are blown into glass with strange liquids floating about inside them, and a few other knickknacks were the party's loot from this expedition.
And 72 crystals.
And 72 crystals from a chandelier that Jasna pulled down and stripped.
We could make that into a chandelier again.
We could.
That'd be great for camping.
I love it.
For camping.
So, after the 2 days of travel, we now resume on the evening of the penultimate day of your journey.
Do you remember what my role was?
You probably messaged it to me.
Check.
But no, that was the day before the last one you messaged me. Because that was...
We wanted to
Murphy's
investigate what the potion was, too.
You are okay now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you got better.
Yeah.
thing. You got better.
They almost buried me alive.
That was a Monty Python reference, everybody.
I'm not dead.
To be fair, Morthos had
Hey,
to
God.
accept that he was acting dead. Like, a voice asked him, do you want to play dead? And he was like, sure, why not?
Well,
Pretty
y'all
good.
don't know that.
He did not relay that.
He did
Yeah,
not.
he just said I had to be willing to do something that seemed friendish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Playful, almost.
Right. So I'm like, sure, let's do it.
This sounds like fun.
I like it. That's cool.
I don't actually know if you made a roll for today.
Because we just
I
took a
think
rest, right?
I think I did.
No, actually, you said it out loud to me. I recall what it was.
For survival? Or...
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Different thing entirely.
We don't know about it.
That's true.
Cool.
Yeah, I just remembered that because it was like the
Thanks.
last thing that was said, and I was like, oh
I
yeah.
was like, it was.
Oh, and you told me after the session ended, but was relevant, that Jasna woke
yes.
up this
So
morning.
fun things that happen.
How much damage did I take?
I'll tell you now.
So I woke up this morning.
No, it was before you went to bed last
You took
night.
damage?
Yeah. Wait, I thought it was when I woke up.
8 points of cold damage.
It's because you
Nope, it
wanted to
was
burn
37.
him.
Well, is it? Oh, so it's the previous night, so I'll be fine. I don't have to.
Yep,
Okay.
you'll recover it on the long rest, assuming you.
Why did you get cold
throw
damage?
it off.
Yeah. So I shriek out. I have on my head is a extraordinarily cold but very cool looking green hat.
That is a handsome.
Wait, in the middle of the night?
Yes.
She
I
shrieks
just
out
wake
and
up with it.
Does she shriek loud enough that we wake up?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like it would
It's
be
like frostbite.
barely at the
instantaneous.
beginning of your rest.
How you put this hat on?
No, I didn't put it on. I woke up with it on.
But we don't know why.
Well, I
So
wish.
let's actually act that out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. So
Ah!
Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong?
And I'm trying to like pull. There's this like thing on my head.
it
And,
like sticks
help,
a little
yeah,
bit
it's
with the
sticky.
cold.
Cranmore, help me! Help me get it off.
Ah!
Does it
It-
come
it
off?
kinda
Or
like
do I
it
like
does.
pull up with it?
It does come off. It's kind of freezing to your hand.
Do chunks of my hair come off?
Stick it under my
I'm
armpit.
pretty upset.
Okay.
How cold is this thing?
Where did that thing
Uh,
come from?
Stop
you take
it!
5 points of cold damage.
I put it down.
I woke up with it. But
It is a rad looking hat. I mean, like
Yeah.
it is like the Pied Piper hat, but like the angles are all sleek and it has like this gorgeous like
I
feather
know it's
sticking out
wrong,
of it.
but I want to wear it. Where did you get this?
I just woke up with it, but it looks exactly like what I was imagining when I put my coins in the wishing well and wished for the coolest, sleekest,
Yes.
raddest hat that's green.
So your wishes are coming true?
But the coolest was cold, right?
So,
Wait. Yeah.
The coldest hat you could
shit.
possibly have.
yeah. I think it's very awesome
Garrick.
looking though.
Put on the hat. I want to see if your other wish came true.
Which other wish?
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
Oh, your other wish is coming true.
I am, for one, shocked.
Because you didn't do something stupid.
Oh!
I look suspiciously at my mule. Is it flying?
It is not.
Well, Mr. Mule's not flying, so I guess that maybe they're gradually coming true? I have
Should
no
we
idea.
tie your mule down or something?
Maybe we should. I guess I'm gonna go and put a harness on him and just like make sure he's harnessed to a tree just in case he starts flying. I don't want him to like leave.
Okay.
But my hat's really cool and I'm really excited about it because I don't know how it's so cold.
What if he becomes a mule Pegasus?
That would be awesome.
I don't remember what all I wished for.
I really want to keep this hat because it could be a really good weapon to put on someone in a battle.
Are you
How do
able
we
to
hold it, though?
without?
Well, I
it's
could.
a
I think if I wrapped it in a tarp and then put it in the bag of holding, it could maybe. I don't think it would be cold enough to do any
If
damage.
you have food that you're worried about going like rotten, that might be a nice way to keep your food. If you can,
Yeah.
Ice packs.
or
yeah.
yeah,
How
If you can
cool.
manage to take it out without hurting
yeah. If
yourself.
you can manage to move the hat around without getting hurt.
If I
Although it
wrap
might
it
get
in like part of my
freezer
parka,
burn.
will it be okay? Like, could I touch
That
it?
is
to a
conjecture.
Try.
You could
Okay,
put
I'll
it in a
try.
room, right? And then
It's
things can be
still-
rather
you can
distant
still
from it,
feel
but getting the
cold,
chill
but it doesn't
from it.
hurt.
Okay,
Fair.
so I can wrap it
In a
in
box.
some of my stuff.
See, that wolf
Like
would
an
be
ice
okay.
box.
If that was in the bag of holding, the wolf might still be okay.
I mean, we usually put stuff in cellars, or people will bring in like great big ice blocks. But this thing is just ready to go.
We can kill our enemies and then put them on ice.
Kate says Jasmine is about to invent oven mitts.
Oh man. I think Kate is right.
Yep. That's okay. So
But
as
as
the
of right now, yeah, I'm really excited about this hat. I think it has a lot of potential for us, especially because we could, as you said, like we could keep food cold with it. We could have iced beverages. We could use it for all sorts of
Use
things.
it as a weapon.
Yeah, torture weapons.
Torture? What?
Anyway, don't worry about it,
yeah,
Norwyn.
torture.
But I think that we could really use it, and it's really cool looking.
It is a pretty slick looking hat.
So I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I have some extra like winter gear that I have in the bag of holding, and I think I'll wrap it up and like maybe sew a little clasp on it so it doesn't come undone, and put it in there until we want to use it again.
Cool.
Neat.
But does anyone have any other wishes that might? I don't know. I worded mine really badly, but do we have anything else we have to be worried about happening?
I wished for more power, I think, at one point, maybe.
You didn't do that out loud.
Yeah.
Then now.
FYI.
Oh, yeah.
Garrick wanted.
Oh,
a
but I
sandwich
texted
or
it to you.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't know if you wanted to say that in
Oh, yeah.
Garrick wanted like a sandwich.
I'm like,
A giant roasted rack of lamb is what he wished for.
Garrick, watch out for any giant lambs.
How literal could that become?
Well, my cat was literally the coldest and also the raddest hat that I'd
Point-
ever seen.
point of order. Is it absolute zero?
No.
Okay. So it's not. Well, I guess we don't know that in character.
But you don't have to get absolute zero for it to be like immensely cold.
Yeah, but for it to be the coolest hat ever.
But that
But
would
it's
be
cooler than
assuming-
any other
yeah,
hat.
That would be, you would have to assume that there was a hat at absolute zero, because if your scale's just the coldest of all hats,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be very cold.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, that means there's another hat that's just a little warmer than that one.
Somewhere.
Is it only 1 degree more cold?
We
You have
don't
no
know.
idea.
You don't fucking know.
You don't even know what degrees are. That's not a measure.
This demon is an artiste. Okay. Apparently things are open to interpretation, and we have to let him express himself or herself. We don't know what's in that well.
So there's no measurement of temperature in this world?
It's hot, or it's cold, or it's maybe not so hot. There's no precise measurement.
I'm worried about the rack of lamb right now. Because is it going to fall from the sky? How big is this thing going to
Is
be?
that what you're worried about?
Is it going to... I just said, how big is this thing? Is it going to come... Is the giant lamb going to show up and then its leg falls off and
It's going to
cooks?
be a rack where lambs torture us with.
A rack of lambs. What if he mumbled a bit?
But I will let you try.
Okay.
So
Get to it.
Okay.
I don't know. We don't know what to look out for to protect ourselves from whatever that's going to be.
Just keep our wits about us.
All right.
I bet
So
it's going
who's
to be
taking
delicious,
first watch?
though.
I can take first watch.
Okay. Go ahead and make perception.
13.
And as you are watching, you feel strangely attentive and aware. Go ahead and make it with advantage.
12.
Okay. Nonetheless, it feels like you feel like you were extra aware, like you were more than normal.
You wished for extra wisdom.
How's that gonna bite us in the butt?
I thought it was gonna create a monster or something.
Throughout the night, or throughout the first 2 hours of the evening, it passes quite peacefully. Nothing really catches your attention. Second,
I'll take it.
go ahead and make perception, again with advantage.
Crit fail.
Luckily.
17.
Okay. You see, fainter than Norwyn described it, but you do see a thunderstorm in the far, far distance, almost to the Scairn Mountains. But as this section of... Actually, no, wait, you're in the woods now. You wouldn't see it. So never mind. You don't see anything. Your watch goes uneventfully. Third?
I'll flip you for it.
I'll do it. Okay, you want to flip? Fine. I'll take odds.
Okay.
Right, I get third.
Advantage.
Wow.
Oh, there's gonna be another one.
It's perception?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, 12.
Okay. Peaceful. However, towards the middle of your watch or so, it begins raining and then sleeting, and then by the end of your watch, it is snowing.
Lovely.
And fourth and final watch goes to Norwyn.
Oh.
With advantage.
Is that a 19?
And then an 18.
Just in case you critted.
24.
Okay. The snow picks up to be a reasonable pace by the time the sun is peeking over the horizon that you can't see. So by the time that the first rays of sun are filtering through the canopy of the trees in which you find yourself, as dawn breaks, it seems to be a overcast and kind of dark day. But nonetheless, you can sort of see in the woods about you stirrings of life.
Stirrings of life.
Just woodland creatures
Okay.
that have not yet begun to hibernate or do not hibernate.
Rabbits doing it.
Whoa!
It's
There's
not
two
their
rabbits doing
mating
it.
season.
Okay.
I
Never
don't
mind.
think. I have no idea.
Rabbits are always on the
I made that claim without any substantiation
Hey
whatsoever.
Siri, when do rabbits mate?
right now.
No, she's not listening. She's not listening.
Sucks. But yes, so you wake up for the morning, and the party all rises, and Garrett kind of.
You okay, man?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Everybody sleep okay?
You never greet us. What's wrong?
Feel kind of bad.
Why do you feel bad?
Oh.
He just kind of looks away.
Because you released an evil force into the world that's going to kill thousands upon thousands of people?
Yeah, that.
That's out of character.
Is it? Is it?
I
don't
go to
know.
look for my mule.
It's there.
Is he
Just chilling.
just doing his thing?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to give him an apple. He's a good mule.
Okay.
I don't
Garrett
have
helps
any
you
apples.
find an apple. No, it doesn't. It's winter. Apples are out of season.
Wait a minute.
I give my mule some
You
wine
actually-
because I have an alchemy.
You actually do hear me laugh a little bit.
So, flying can also mean that they're going really fast and not in the air. Or they got into some stinky weed.
High as a kite.
I don't know what you guys have down south, but there are things that make you feel like you're flying. Your
Could
mule
Could be
just
fly for a mule.
could just be he could just like that hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, if I had the coolest mule to go with my coolest
This
hat.
this devil, this demon could have like 1990s kind of lingo.
I don't know what that means.
Where something is fly means it is.
But she did say could fly.
Oh, could fly. Okay. Let's use a conditional there. Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that it is flying. If I said could fly, that doesn't mean my mule is flying.
Alright, so let's get underway with travel for the day. Let's get a
Yes.
perception and a survival check if we can.
Only for you guys, right?
Alright, I'll take
Oh.
the survival.
I mean, you guys can switch it up if you want.
And
It's
I've
just-
got a 17.
I got an 11 perception.
Okay. 11. Let's see.
That you want active, right?
Yep.
Passive doesn't overrule.
No. Not for stuff like this. For some stuff it would, but. Alrighty. So, what was the survival? 17?
17.
Okay. So, Redmore is pretty darn at home in the woods, and it shows, especially in this this circumstance,
Snowing.
because despite the snow that is going quite heavily now, he has no trouble picking his way through the underbrush in the woods and finding the best path through the trees. He has the best paths. Everybody knows it. And you all make it a pretty good way. And Norwyn, you're sort of keeping an eye out for anything that you see. And a few times here and there, you see signs of woodland life, a few deer hopping about, rabbits doing it. And,
There's rabbits doing it over there.
You don't have to point it out
Norwyn
every
just
time.
became a New Yorker. What are you rabbits here? Don't know how to be polite.
Who wished for this?
And then, of a sudden, you hear the beating of wings. Norwyn.
Oh. What
It
kind of
catches your
wings?
ear. They sound large. It catches your ear, and luckily you manage to spot the source before it spots you. And we will get a little bit of a map going here.
Oh no.
Oh
It's
yes.
just a map. What's wrong?
There. And y'all are. And Norwyn, you were probably at the front, yes? Because you were perceiving.
Yeah.
Where is Norwyn?
Can you give me your minute?
Garrick
At the front with-
behind
with-
them.
Yeah, so probably something like this. And what you see is a bunch of trees that I'm going to take out now. Because you're in the woods. And there are trees in woods, including the ones that are on the map. Because they're additional.
Yeah, because these are all trees, right?
Yep, they are
I
indeed.
think it's going high.
Is Garrick in a tree? He likes to do that.
The crosses are corner of the spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was Garrick in a tree?
He was not.
Conifers and evergreens. This is a young wood.
Yeah.
I just didn't have that many big tree models. The
Reading a
reading
lot into
source
this.
of the wings you see as a wyvern appears before you, flanked by two smaller things that look nothing. Well, they look kind of like this one, nothing like this. You see two crimson smaller drakes that are sort of. They have the draconic shape. They have 4 limbs and 2 wings, but they are much smaller than their draconic cousins and are sort of flanking this wyvern, which only has 2 limbs and 2 wings. But also a cobra-like head with a stinger like a scorpion, but much, much larger than a scorpion's.
How have we all seen it yet, or is it still
Yes.
Norwyn?
It becomes quite obvious very quickly.
Okay. How big is the big one?
As big as you.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Maybe if you went for the tail as well, then he'd be about, if you laid him out, he'd be about twice the size, but
But it's the same size
the body
class.
is this. Yes, he's the same size class, and the body is about the same size as your body.
Okay.
And what are the little things?
They're drakes.
Is that a baby dragon or a different thing?
Different
That's
thing.
different.
And I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Ooh.
3.
It's bad.
21. Wait, we had our decks, right?
Yep.
dice? You got them recently?
Yeah, they're really
Yes,
$2.
we got them at a local game shop down in Charlottesville called BionD Games. They technically follow us, so if you guys are watching, woo, we love your dice. All right, so 20 to 20 or above, rather.
21.
21. Okay, 15 to 20.
19.
19. Very, very good.
How big are the drakes?
Could I try?
They are small,
How small?
about your size.
You're thinking of riding one, aren't you?
I was thinking of shrinking them. And then trying to put one in my hat and seeing what happened.
15
Very
to 10.
experimental.
15 to 10. Okay.
You test my worldview.
5 to 10.
6.
I'm a mad engineer.
What's your bonus?
Ennis loves it. Cranmore's not sure.
Oh, I didn't roll for Garrick. That's why we're missing somebody. Well, he got the same thing, so he's gonna go between.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then I got a 3.
Oh, jeez.
Unless you prefer to be supersized.
That's what's my bonus.
I am sorry, friend.
That's what it is.
All right, so Jasna, you were up first.
Oh.
I have a feeling if that happens, it won't be because I consented. Because you just slap my go, Cranmore! Slap me and I'm big. I'm like,
The one. Horse, moose don't neigh. What do moose do?
more of a low.
Is it kind of cow-like?
Between a cow and a horse.
Wait,
like a
so
low
why
extreme.
did they just decide to attack us? Wait, how did this encounter happen? Sorry.
They saw prey.
Oh, that's lame.
I look delicious. I am a thick snack.
Snack. Okay, Jasna really wants to
Alright,
share.
let's see how much lightning damage it takes
Oh
for
my
that.
god!
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
I got that from your Discord.
Not from me.
I'm about to
Jasna
look it up
really
now.
wants to shrink
Probably
the
from
Drake.
Christine, if I'm being honest.
Probably.
Jasna
Wants to
really
shrink?
wants to shrink the Drake.
Is that something you can do at range?
I can check. If
Is it
not, I'm
on your
gonna
spell
fireball.
cards?
I don't have it on a
Do you
spell
want me
card.
to toss you at
Oh,
it
okay.
so that you
I
can
mean, if you don't have it, that's
a
fine.
touch
You can-
spell?
Sorry. Yeah, I don't have. There's no spell card for it right now. Sorry. I think I can. but I'm
One
not
round
sure.
is 6 seconds.
Yes.
It's also 2 pi r.
Actually, I don't think I could get to it in time for.
Don't you
Distilling.
mean Tau R?
I don't think
thing.
Yeah.
Tau is a
I
constant
can't.
defined
I
as
can't
2
do
pi.
it at range.
I don't think so.
So I'm just gonna cast Firebolt at one of the little guys.
Okay, roll your spell attack.
And that is. Oh, I have to roll to hit, don't I?
Yep.
Okay. It is 25.
That will hit.
2d10.
How did I not write this down? I have to have written this down.
What?
15 damage.
Okay. As you watch, Jasna casts her hand forth and a bolt of fire spits from her palm and slams into the Drake, who shakes the blow off like it's nothing.
This was
That's the
fire?
big one?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I wanted to fire
No,
the little
the
one.
small one.
This
Yeah.
one.
Nothing.
Oh, it's fire damage. Duh, they're dragons.
They are crimson drakes specifically, and the red is the...
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, so that's Jasna's turn. But now you know. So, not a wasted turn. You learned something. Cranmore, you're up. Learning about
Alright,
your
so-
foes is still good.
So have they, before this all started, were they looking at us aggressively?
Yes,
like
they have like swooped in and are...
Oh, okay, because otherwise I'm not going to initiate aggression. But they've started it.
Yes, they're like coming
Okay.
for you.
Okay.
Like, they were out here as Norwyn saw them. They're, like, flying up to you. And this is where they get by the time we are in the moment.
Each one of these, sorry. Each one of these 5.
Yep. And the crosses are indeed the
Second,
intersection.
9. Good. Alright. I'm going to charge the big one.
Okay.
Are
If-
these things humanoid?
They're not.
If it matters,
Good question.
do they have any kind of like normal resist I guess I'll find out. These are magical.
Yep, they are.
Just in case it matters. So don't give me that half damage, hopefully. Alright, so I'm rolling to charge, and it's 19 on the big guy.
19 to hit. That does hit.
Oh, goody. Okay, and now
He's over here.
Yeah, he's.
may I
charging
borrow
forward.
one of those lovely D6s from you? Anyone? There we go. They're all lovely, so. Okay, 6.
It's not true. Some of them deserve to be in dice jail.
So you take a force station?
He takes it forward just like Cranmore
Okay.
does.
So, 8 force 12 plus 5 plus 8. 12 plus 8 is 20. 25.
25 damage? Or
Yeah.
25 to hit?
25 damage.
Did you? Oh, you did roll a hit. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, wait a minute, wait. I might have to subtract 3. I'm sorry, subtract 3, so 22 damage.
Okay. Alright, so Cranmore charges up and rears back and just punches forth with these hooves.
That can't be right. I'm sorry,
A D8 plus
I gotta do
2d6
the math.
plus your strength.
It's 2d6 plus 5.
8 plus 4 is 12 plus your strength bonus.
Charges.
So it should be
D8.
17.
It should be. It's only 1d8. I don't have the strength to the charge, so it's 2d6 plus 5 plus the d8. So 2d6 is 8, plus
13.
5 is 13, plus 4
17.
is 17. It's
Okay.
17.
Cool.
This is. I thought it was like there's no way it's that high.
Yeah, that makes
17.
more sense.
Okay, so now I am going to. I'm gonna punch him, I guess.
Okay.
And that's another. So that's just an unarmed strike. Nothing great. It's just, nope. 6 plus 8 is 14.
That still hits.
That-
The AC
okay.
is not super high.
Okay.
He's
and-
hardy, but he's not dodgy.
Okay. 8 damage.
Okay. So Cranmore, after pummeling him with the hooves, comes back around and just kind of knocks the wyvern in the jaw, avoiding the teeth, but getting sort of like the lower cartilaginous section of the jaw. Shakes off the blow and is bearing down on you threateningly. That will bring us to the drakes, who are going to.
Well, I'm right there.
Yep.
That's why I did that, so they wouldn't attack you guys.
Yeah, they're gonna go for it.
How far away is that? Like 60 feet?
A little less than, I think. Well, actually, from you it might be 60.
It might be 60 for you, it's about 50 for me, as I calculated it.
Okay. So that is not great. That's only a 13 to hit. So one of the drakes comes at you with its teeth bared and tries to snap at you, but you duck out of the way deftly, and its jaws do not make purchase. That is cocked. That is a natural 1. Let's see if it fucks up. Okay, it does not hit its friend.
I forgot to take my extra attack.
Oof.
Okay.
Next round.
Next round.
The second one dives in, and you move out of the way, and it almost snaps at its friend, but the friend also dodges out of the way, sort of seeing it just a split second as your thick torso pushes backward, revealing the other creature, and like pulls back just inches away. So that was both of its attacks missing, and that is that. All right, that's not a name.
The other Drake, right?
No, Wyvern. It's like, what is W? And I was like, the other group has someone named Wartalk, and so I was like, oh, it's Wartalk's turn. No, it's not. All right, so the Wyvern is gonna go.
Who is this
He's gonna
Wartalk?
go ahead and he's gonna bite out at you. Man, 12 to hit, so that misses. And then he's gonna go for the stinger. That is a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Finally. Okay.
He has a stinger?
Yes, he does. A scorpion-like stinger that is the size of like one of your heads.
Oh my.
Okay.
So that is.
Hopefully he doesn't go for our head with it.
That is 8 points of piercing damage, and I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy, I'm not great at those. Oh.
Clearly.
Alright.
What was the damage first of all?
8.
8.
So 8 piercing. I need one more. Where are you? There we go.
Oh, right. I had a long rest.
20 points of poison damage as the stinger pierces into your pectorals. You feel this venom just course outward from the point of impact, and you sort of seize up for a moment as the pain just overwhelms you, and this poison courses through you, weakening you substantially. And that is the wyvern's turn. That's all he got.
4 more levels and that wouldn't happen. It's a long ways away though.
And now it's the other Drake's turn, who is going to, in kind, do what his friend tried to do.
You put yourself right in the middle of it there.
On purpose, yeah.
That is a 23 to hit.
Yep.
So you'll take 4 points of piercing and 3 points of fire damage. As the fangs bear and sink into your flesh, they sear and cauterize the wound, but the flames that all lick your skin about it are immensely painful as well.
When they use fire, is that a spell attack or is that?
It is just part of the bite.
Okay.
So they have they basically have just flames that are kind of ever present in their maw. He goes in for a second attack with his stinger, and that is a natural 1. So. And a crit on the follow-up.
Yes!
So he's gonna go forward and sting. You dodge out of the way and it slams into the neck of the other Drake.
I happen to be leaning over in pain. Oh, jeez, whoa.
Okay, so that is 12, 16, 20 piercing damage to the other. Jesus. And that was CD2, so this is CD1. It's taking it. Why did I cross out when I have a pencil? And he has to make a Constitution saving throw. So that is a failure. And he is now poisoned. So it's not the same for the Drakes. They don't just do outright damage. And what did he fail by? Con is +2, so that is an 8. The DC is 13. So he failed by 5 or more. And so he will take damage at the start of each of his turns for 3 turns. All right. So that wraps up CD2. Garrick is going to go next. Seeing Cranmore sort of in the thick of it, he is going to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw his bow and fire. And he is level 6 now, so I believe he gets extra attack. So he's going to shoot 2 at this Drake. And crits on his first hit.
Success?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, and he got max damage on the second die as well. So 16 plus his... It's a short bow, so it can be dex. So 19 points of damage. And this Drake is already not looking very good. So one arrow sort of flies by you, sort of almost brushing your shoulder, but then sinks into the chest of one of the Drakes that was flanking you, wounding it badly. And he follows up with a second bow shot, which will also hit, but not crit this time. And he deals another 10 points of damage to the first Crimson Drake, who is now looking very, very rough. Like another hit like that, and he is done for. He's sort of flapping haggardly in the breeze and trying to stay aloft with some difficulty. Norwyn, you're up.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which spaces are you in?
All of them.
The 4 that surround that cross.
Okay.
You can move through his space, you just can't end on it. So you could end in front of this Drake if you wanted to. Or in front of the other one.
I'll go in front of
Okay. He is looking very wounded.
Actually, I'll go in front of this one. And then I cast Spirit Guardians, but I don't specify any allies.
All right. Cool. So Spirit Guardians pops up, and you've seen this before, and so you fully expect, like, okay, cool, I've got this area of defect, like, defensive thing.
It's not the only thing I've seen from Norwyn before. Okay.
And then I use my bonus action to pull out my shield, and that's it.
Does Spirit Guardians do damage immediately, or is it only on the start of a turn?
It is. When the creature enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there.
Okay, so it doesn't happen immediately. It'll only happen next round. Cool. Morthos, you're up.
Alright, sweet. I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20. Ah! No, sorry.
I'm
Knocking
strong.
down a tree in the process.
Well, that also means
30.
anybody within 15 feet of me has their speed halved.
Ah, okay, cool. Also, Jasna,
In
go
front
ahead and
of
roll
you?
a d20 for
With
me.
15 feet of me.
Of you. Okay. Oh, wait, where are you?
You're good.
Oh, I'm fine. Okay. I'm gonna do Hexblade's Curse on the creature there. Which
Okay.
Big one?
Yeah, the big one.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna do Eldritch Blast.
On the same one?
On the same one.
Okay.
So
Ooh,
I crit on one of them.
Nice.
And the other one I got, what is that? I forget. Plus charisma plus
Your proficiency bonus.
proficiency bonus. So that's plus
Probably
6.
Really?
My proficiency bonus is plus 3.
Yeah, your charisma is only 3?
Yeah.
Huh. Crazy.
So that's 16 for one, 20 for the other.
Both hit.
Okay, so then he gets
So the critted one does 10 plus the new damage die. The extra damage die.
so plus 10 plus 2 damage die, and then plus 10 on the other one. 1d10 plus 6 on each, I think.
Yes, because the Hexblade's Curse.
Yeah.
It still costs me an action to use the gauntlet, right?
So
It's plus a d6, I think.
plus a d6. You're right.
Yes.
So 6. Oh wait,
Just
so
not a spell slot.
10 plus 3. So it's 13 plus 6 is 19. Plus another 9, 28.
28 total?
Yep.
Nice. So Morthos comes forward and just blasts 2 eldritch bolts of energy from his hand, slamming into this wyvern, and sort of one of them hits into the center of a wing, and you see like a blackened, scarred bit as the wing begins to sort of tear and fray a little bit where the impact was. The second one hitting into its rib cage, and a blackened scar appears there and begins to bruise and welt. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, Jasna, back to you.
I'm actually going to take my turn to summon my turret.
Nice. Well, it's only a bonus action, or it's an action to summon.
It's an action
right?
to summon. Yeah.
Okay, but then you can use a bonus action on the same turn to command it.
I can't do anything this far away. I have to get closer before it can do anything.
But you can move.
The Force Ballista is like 120 feet.
Oh, I thought. Sorry.
It was that page, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's the other one that's closer. Okay, I'm going.
You can also have it move
to-
and Force Ballista, so you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it start moving. I think it can move
15 feet. I think.
15 feet. So I'm gonna.
Because the bonus equals your proficiency.
Yeah, and I'm gonna move with it.
Bonus
so.
equals your your damage equals your proficiency with first bullet point.
Okay, so
Trees, they're
damage.
moving.
Yeah, instead of the 6. Minus the 3.
I think
They're
it's X that does the D6 to Hexblade's Curse. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
I get the 2 confused sometimes.
target.
They're named very similarly.
I know.
Which one are you targeting? Okay. He is in half cover from where you are because of that
Is
tree.
he in cover?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna target him then.
Okay.
and-
Half cover does only mean a +2 to AC. It's not, terrible.
Okay, so I have to make a ranged spell attack.
Are you still going for the wyvern or the smaller one?
The big guy.
Okay.
14.
Hits.
And 6 plus 8. 14.
All right. So you all watch as Jasna's turret materializes in a space nearby her, and then begins to sort of crab walk forward. And you hear this like whirring of gears, and as a bolt of arcane energy flies past the tree and past you, Cranmore, and sort of pierces its way into the shoulder of this wyvern, and it out in rage and agony. It sort of folds a wing inward briefly to like protect the spot before resuming its normal flying stance. Okay, Cranmore, you're up.
Okay, is there anything grabbable on this thing? What I want to do is grab them and slam them into the ground repeatedly.
Okay.
And I want those to be my attacks.
You might be able to get either the limb that extends outward toward the wing or the foot. The tail is kind of swishing backward away from you, and it's hard to get.
Okay, then the foot then. Just with Jefferson, just grab it and...
Although, I mean, I'll let you take an opportunity to get the tail if you want to.
Oh, that's even better, because then it's not stinging me. Or anyone else.
Take a what?
I want to swing this thing
Like,
into the ground.
No, like take some opportunity, like find like a time that he can grab it.
Oh.
It
Right.
makes sense that like it would swish at some point close enough for a monk to go like, ha, got your tail.
So that's the first thing I'm going to try to do.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab my tail to slam him into the ground.
I want you to make a, we'll make it an attack roll, just normal.
All right, 21.
That hits.
So I have him by the tail.
Yep, so you grab him, and that is one attack, is grabbing him.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
rip him into the ground. All right, so that's another attack.
Yep,
16.
that hits.
Okay, and let's do.
Make it 2d6 bludgeoning.
Okay, could I borrow a d6? Thank you. Sorry. 6 plus 5 is 11,
Okay,
and then I have another attack.
you do.
I'm gonna make it flurry of blows. So I have 2 more attacks.
Okay, here, also keep this d6 just till the end of the session.
Oh, thanks. This is gonna be more fighting, eh?
Well, maybe, but it's just
Okay.
so you don't have to keep asking for one.
So 19
That hits.
and okay, that's 11.
That does not hit.
Okay, so 4 plus 5 is 9 points.
Okay. So you watch as Cranmore doesn't rush up, sort of times it perfectly and snatches outward, grabbing Spirit Guardian damage. Go ahead and, is it a save?
Save.
What save is it?
Wisdom.
Make a whiz save.
17
You're good.
plus.
You're good.
Okay.
You do notice that the Spirit Guardians are like trying to get at you too, which is strange, but they don't do any damage to you.
It's not that strange.
They don't really bother you. It's like, and so you watch as Cranmore, like timing it perfectly, reaches out, snags the wyvern's tail, and just brings it around and slams the wyvern into the ground once and then twice, and then the third time lifts up. But as he swings forward on the final blow, the wyvern does sort of escape from his grasp. He's not actually out of your grip, but he like managed to get away long enough that your final strike didn't hit him into the ground.
Now I have a question. The first thing was an attack that did not do damage, but it was able to grab him by the tail.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the basic grappling mechanic.
It's a grappling mechanic. Now, did he roll anything to get out of that grapple?
Nope. He would have to use his action to try and get out of the grapple. So he's not actually
So I'm
out
still
of it.
holding him by
Yes.
the tail.
He slips from your grasp is just for flavor. It's a reason that you
Because
weren't able to slam him that last time.
Instead of holding him here on the tail, you're holding him here now.
All right.
It's more like you went for it. He got out of your grasp like briefly, but then you just grabbed
Okay.
him back. But it wasn't enough time for you to hit him in the ground.
Okay.
He is still grappled by you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Tail.
Fucking tail, eh?
All right. The drakes are going to go next, and neither of them is dead yet. So they're both going to go for you. Well, one of them is going to go for you, and then the wyvern goes.
Damage.
Radiant damage or Spirit
Yeah.
Guardian's damage. Wisdom saving throw. That is an 8.
Nope.
How much damage does he take?
3d8 radiant.
He will probably die, but you might not kill him. Go ahead and roll.
If you roll 3 ones.
8.
Okay, he's dead. So
Is it this little guy?
yeah,
Oh.
as his turn begins, the spirit guardians just sort of swarm and peck at the. What kind are they again? What did you make them?
They're. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's necrotic damage.
It
right
doesn't
now.
change the.
But yeah,
It's kind of gross.
they are not the normal angels right now. They are fiends.
Nice.
Okay, we would notice that, right?
Yes, you would.
Yes, you would.
I'm like, oh, Norwyn, not again.
You see.
No time for that conversation right now.
It's a free action to say it.
We got to kill another
Nothing
tree.
can come of it. But, so you see these fiendish sort of guardians flying at the drake and sort of pecking into the wounds, and as they do, the wounds turn black and begin to necrolyze and fester. And it is enough that the drake succumbs to these wounds and falls dead to the ground. Next, the wyvern goes, and it is going to.
This is the one I'm holding on to?
Yep.
Please don't fly away.
He is actually going to try and reciprocate.
Okay.
He's going to try and throw you while you're on his tail.
Wisdom save.
Yeah. That is a 12. No, 13. But
Fail.
I think it.
Fail. 6 plus 1 plus 3 is 10.
Okay.
Thank God I have a high wisdom.
He is looking rough. He is starting to take some signs of wear from these beatings you've been giving it. It is going to go ahead and... Yeah, he's basically just going to try and do the same thing to you and whip up and like smack you down onto the ground with it.
I weigh a ton.
He's strong.
Okay.
His same size class as you and
Fair
has a
enough.
strength of 19.
Okay.
Yours is higher, but that is only a 13.
No.
But he's going to try it a second
Let's
time.
solve this over a game of chess, baby. Staring contest.
There we go. That is a 26 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay.
He has too much wisdom. He says no.
Alright, that is 11 points of bludgeoning damage as he whips his tail
Wow.
up and smashes you into the ground. Tit for tat, just taking your move and reversing it on you.
It's probably the biggest hit we've seen on you.
No,
Okay.
the one right before that was.
Yeah. The
11
second
points isn't
drake,
bad.
I mean, from that perspective, like a freaking tail coming down, just smashing you to the ground.
crit on his wisdom save, so he's good. And he is actually going to...
I'm surprised that he's able to do it while I'm grappling him. But
He didn't, so he can't sting you with it, but he can
Okay.
flip it.
okay.
It does have musculature. It's
Yeah.
yeah. All right. He is going to bring back his neck, open his maw wide, and breathe out a gout of flame that will encompass Norwyn and Cranmore. I pointed backwards, but you get the point. I would like both of you to make dexterity saving throws.
I got a 1.
3.
All right.
I rolled a 1. I have like a proficiency and all that, but it's still a 1. So.
Yeah.
And
What
is
is the
it-
total?
Oh, that doesn't matter for proficiency.
It doesn't. So what's the total?
It's not great. 7.
It still fails, unfortunately.
And that's not considered a spell, right? When he blows fire.
Oh yeah.
I'll double check for you, but I don't know for sure.
That matters.
It does.
Alright. For a spirit guardians or
No, for my shield.
Oh right, for the carapace, yeah.
We should let Tom roll for Joel.
Roll for what?
Joel.
It is not a spell attack. 18 points of fire damage as you are immolated in this
Ooh, you down?
large
I'm
cloud of
down.
flame. Whoa! Cranmore falls unconscious.
Very good.
The important thing is, one of those things is down.
All right. That is, however, the
You said
Drake's
18,
turn.
right?
Yep. That is all he can do when he does that. So he is out. Garrick is going to go next. Let's see. He is going to. He can't drop. Well, he can drop it, draw, and attack, but he cannot throw a bomb or do any quant anything. Let me see. What is the
Rolling
range?
a lot of ones today.
Can't move that tree.
I'm trying to figure out where the tree even is. It's like in the middle of a bunch of things.
All right, so he is going to.
It was like
there.
one
It was
that's
there.
rock. Oh no, it's here. It's not
Yep.
here.
Mhm.
Okay.
That is also a tree stump, but that's not really there because it'd be weird for a tree stump to be right next to a tree. All right, he is going to fire his bow at the wyvern, perceiving it to be the biggest threat. The first one misses. Second one is cocked. That'll hit. That is an 18 or 17, I think. And he is actually going to, having not seen the wyvern do any of its cousin's fire things, he's going to make it a fire arrow and add another 4 damage to that. So that is a total of 11 points of damage on the wyvern. And then he is going to run up. 3, 4, 5. Get in melee range with it. And he's going to cast Axie. Wyvern fails and is stunned until its next turn. Alright, so Garrick approaches next to the unconscious Cranmore and stuns the wyvern into being unable to move, bringing us to Norwyn. Oh, and he has to make a save, right?
Oh yeah.
Wisdom? I have no idea what his wisdom score. It's a 0 bonus, I know that. 18 though.
Yeah, it's good.
Is it a 1 bonus? No, it's plus.
Doesn't matter right now.
It's close enough that it wouldn't matter one way or the other.
I do. Where is it? Spiritual weapon. As a bonus action.
What level?
Just actually, yeah, do it as level 3.
Okay.
Sure. Alright.
Yeah, we're good.
So it comes out.
Okay.
Sneaky.
And further? One more?
No, that's good.
That's good.
That's fine. And then it attacks
The wyvern?
The
Drake?
The Drake.
It looks like a dove, but the Drake.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that
He is still not taking damage.
is 15 plus 8, I believe.
That'll hit.
Because
15
takes my
hits,
spell
so
modifier.
yes, it does.
Okay.
So that's 3d8 damage at level 3? Or is it 2?
1d8, 2d8 plus spellcasting. Thanks.
Nice!
Oh, 15 plus 8 is 23.
It's just your ability modifier, not the proficiency modifier.
Oh, which is
Probably just 5.
Yeah, it's probably.
Your spellcasting ability is wisdom as a cleric.
yeah.
So it's just your wisdom.
Oh,
bonus.
okay, so plus 5.
So what is that?
Wait.
Oh,
okay.
15 plus 5 is 20.
20?
Yeah.
Okay. So you take out this. Does it take the same form?
Yeah.
Okay.
For now.
So you see the scroll of the stone-looking scroll of Ogma with like the thick mace-like head pop up. Well, you don't. Everyone else does. And slam into this Drake, hitting pretty damn hard. It bursts with a. Is it necrotic damage?
No, it is just force.
Bludgeoning?
Force.
Force. Okay. Yeah, it bursts with this like tinted divine energy. So like it's bright, but there's almost a blackness inside it. And this force sort of bursts forth as the impact is made, but the drake is rough.
That's
It looks
weird.
And then
damaged.
I used Toll the Dead on it, which is a cantrip.
Okay, yeah, I was like, that works out, okay. Because Spirit Weapon is a bonus action.
Just 5.
Okay. He's not quite bloody, but he's very close. Alright, Morthos, you're up.
Alright, am I allowed to stand in the spot of a dead creature, or?
Sure. I typically take them off the board.
Yeah, I
so-
thought we normally did.
Yeah.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then 2 Eldritch Blasts.
At the Wyvern?
Yep.
Nice.
I have, what's my, plus 6, so that's 18 and 15.
Those both hit.
Oh, sweet. So then it's, what did we say? It was 2d10 plus my proficiency bonus.
No, plus your charisma.
Also, you have advantage, so go ahead and roll those again and see if you crit.
For both?
Because he's stunned.
Oh, that's right. Is that an OT? No, I didn't crit.
Okay.
I crit on 19s for people who have Exploits Curse on.
Mm.
Okay, so...
He does. You
Huh?
put Exploits Curse on.
Put it
didn't-
on him.
Yeah, I
didn't
didn't
get
roll a
19.
19. I thought it was a 19, but then it wasn't a 19.
Okay.
It was a 19 combined.
Unfortunately.
Did I roll this already? No.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did. So that's
9 and 6.
so 15 plus the proficiency on both those, right? So 15 plus 6
would be 21.
21.
Nice. Alright, he's not looking good.
All right, wonderful.
He's still up, but he is not happy.
Is the other guy still there too? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, the bird drake.
The bird drake.
Alright, Jasna, back to you.
Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come forward with. I can't see anything.
Yeah, you can
With
move the
my,
trees and move them back around if you need to.
With my. Oops. With my turret, and then I'm gonna cast my turret has a 10-foot radius, which Cranmore's in, where it can
Give
give him
temp HP.
Yeah, give him temp HP. And and it's gonna give him 11 temp HP.
Okay.
So he should be back up.
So, it doesn't put you back up, actually. You're not conscious or even stabilized. But the temp HP will absorb damage. So, like, you wouldn't get an auto, you wouldn't get 2 automatic death saves unless it was gone and then you took damage.
Okay.
Is it because it's temp? Is that why?
Mhm.
But if I'd cast Cure Wounds first and then done it, he would have been fine.
Oh, if you cast Cure Wounds now, even,
Yeah,
you'll still get the temp
it'll
HP.
still have the temp HP.
Okay. Then I will use my action to cast Cure Wounds on. Do I have to roll against something? I can't remember. Sorry.
Is it a
You
touch
have to
roll
roll
or
the
You just have to roll the amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that
It's,
touch?
Isn't it touch?
Yep. So you do have to move up.
How much movement do you have? Because
I have
movement speed is
25,
And you'd only moved 15.
Yeah, you can get up behind me. You can use me for cover.
but I moved already. I already
You
moved.
can break up your movement, however. That doesn't matter.
but it's so she can only move 1 more block if she already moved 15 because it's halved now.
Because it's within 15
Can I
feet of you.
touch him if I'm here and he's partially in this
I
square?
think so.
No, because he was actually on this square.
He was like that. So if she goes here, she can touch him here.
Oh, yeah, that's diagonal. Yeah,
Okay,
that works.
I'm gonna move next to him and then use.
You're short, you can't do it.
Sorry, I don't remember the. Sorry.
It's
Diagonal.
D8, but I think it might be 2D8 at this level. I'm not entirely sure.
It's a first level spell for me, I think. So.
Okay, then it's a D8 per spell level.
Okay.
So if you're only going to use a first level slot, then it's a D8.
Yeah.
Plus your spellcasting modifier, which is
Oh.
5.
Yeah. No, my spellcasting modifier is 8.
No, that's your attack modifier. Your spellcasting ability modifier is just
Lower
intelligence, which is 5. So you get 7 back.
Okay.
Is that right, Norman? Cure Wounds does add your spellcasting modifier?
Cure Wounds.
Or is
Sorry,
it
I
just
don't have the
look?
card for it.
Yeah, because it's a cleric spell. we need to get another pack of the cleric ones so you can have the spells that are in your list that you don't have.
Plus spellcasting ability.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so 7. All right, so Cranmore, you are conscious, you're conscious again. You're still prone, but conscious.
Does he get his random tips
Yes.
for hit points back?
He still
Oh,
has
yes.
those.
Okay.
They were always there. They never went away.
Okay.
Well, not always, but as soon as you cast them, they were there for good until they go away.
Until they
All right, so it's my turn now, right?
they're there for good temporarily.
So for my first movement, I want to get up.
All right, since your movement is halved in this area, that is all your movement.
That's fine. Wait,
I figured you weren't gonna move anymore, but
round 3, Wyvern.
Yeah.
go 3 minutes in the ring with Cranmore.
All right, flurry of blows.
So you're making 4.
Vortex.
All right. Just
I hope I don't roll ones. Okay, that's 19. Just gonna roll 7 plus
Hits.
15.
hits.
19. 120. That's 14.
That still hits.
All right. All right.
4 hits.
Is that D6s or?
They're D6s.
8d6. Here.
He's
There's one by that.
I got these.
He's got 4
I got 4.
or 8.
And they
He's got 8.
and plus. All right. So first of all, it's 20 points right away because of my. It's 4 hits of my strength, so that's 20 points right away.
Okay.
Plus whatever this ends up being.
Wait, are you using them all on the same
Yeah,
object?
so you might want to do 3 of them first and see if it kills it. Just do.
Oh, I see. In case.
Yeah.
Alright.
So go ahead and do. Actually, start with 2 of. No, start with 3 of them.
Okay, so let's say it's 3 of them. That's fair. So that's 15 points right away plus
Yep,
whatever
and
this is.
66. So that should be 1 more less, shouldn't it? Or do you have
1, 2,
3, 4,
1, 2,
5,
3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep,
That's
okay.
3 strikes. These.
Oh, I missed the 8. That was behind a tree and I didn't see it.
Okay, so I have 6 and 4 is 10, 28. 28 plus 15 is 38, 43.
What?
It was exactly what you needed on the nose. He had 43 HP left.
All right.
So Cranmore
I have
pops
4 of those.
back up and just boom, boom, bam! And with the third
No, this
hit,
one's
just
not
an
mine.
epic uppercut. The wyvern just,
I don't remember
that
what-
was yours.
and you see blood just
This one's these 4?
from
I
its
think
from its
okay,
nose.
we have
and
similar
I
snout.
look over
I
to
think
the
we-
drake next to
I
it.
think these 2 are mine. I don't
This
know.
is a
Doesn't
hoof
matter.
stomp.
Yeah, they do. Same. I don't know
So
where
I'm
this
gonna have
one
to
came
roll
from.
again for the attack on
Probably
that.
this is
Yeah.
yours, I think.
Okay, so rolling for a hoof stomp on the guy next to him.
Yep.
5 and 8 is 13.
That does not hit.
Okay,
They actually have 1 higher AC than the wyvern.
fair.
Random.
They're a little bit more dexterous, is all it is.
Okay.
All right. So he just kind of shies away from terror and just happens to move a little bit away from your hoof. All right. The first drake, the wyvern. Oh. The second drake. Fuck no. We'll take the attacks of opportunity. It is
From
going
everybody.
From me. Oh yeah, I totally get it.
from you 2.
Yep, I'm gonna go for that.
Oh yeah.
And the spiritual weapon.
20.
Hits.
So is it? It's a melee
Oh yeah, you don't have a melee weapon now, do you?
But I have
you
a-
can make it unarmed.
hand.
Yeah.
So unarmed is 3 plus 6, 13 plus 6.
Hits. And then it should just be a straight damage.
4.
Right?
Yeah.
4. Cromwell, what's your attack?
I got a 20.
Hits. What's your damage?
Roll it now.
And then the
12,
spiritual
12.
weapon
12.
got 16 plus numbers.
That hits.
He had 12 damage.
So spiritual weapon is
3d8.
2d8. Ooh, that's a good 4 plus 5 is 9.
So it was 4, 9, and
12. I should have done mine as a stunning strike.
I don't think you can on reactions. Oh yeah, you can. Anytime you attack, you can spend a key point. He gets away. He is like, but he moves away. He starts going. He is
He
flying
moves slowly
upward.
though.
He moves 80 feet.
Oh, he moves slowly because his movement speed is halved.
I
He
can't-
moves slowly at first.
I can't cast Eldritch Blast at him as he's
They
flying
can
away.
only be melee attacks for opportunity. But he gets 80 feet away and he is up in the air. He is going.
Oh, wait, he actually gets 80 feet away?
Hey,
Okay,
Garrett.
then
Well,
I
he gets.
cast...
Sorry, he gets. 60 feet away.
Okay, I cast Guiding Bolt as a second level spell, so...
It is next actually Garrick's turn.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize we were still in...
I mean, it's
Order.
if we're still wanting to try and pursue
Okay.
him, then we will be.
You might hurt someone else.
It is still in range of Garrett's bow.
Might tell somebody about us if they can. I don't know.
It is actually going to use its action to dash. So
There's
it's
an
going to be
undead
in
angry moose.
disadvantage from him, and it'll be 100.
Wait, it's Garrick's turn, so he needs to make a wisdom save.
Yes, he does.
Also, did you make a wisdom
16.
save?
I did not. I didn't have to make one this time. 16? No, it's less than that. 12.
Fail.
Fail. All right. So what damage do I take now?
It is
Hopefully it's less than 18.
3d8.
Might not be.
That's 15 plus...
18.
Oh, man!
Oh!
Man!
Is that before you made the attacks
It's probably concurrent.
of opportunity?
Oh,
Ooh.
technically it is, right?
It would have actually been before he made the attacks on the wyvern.
Yeah. So...
Because that would have been at the
Well,
start
I'm
of
doing
your
all
turn.
this out of order now.
How
So
are we doing
because we didn't do it at the top of his turn, we're not going to retcon it.
I also
Okay.
did not get an extra attack on my first round because I forgot.
this? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that all happened, but Cranmore does go back
I mean,
unconscious.
18.
So you're
Yep.
down now.
He goes back unconscious as the spiritual guardians
Yeah.
assail
That's a
him.
good compromise.
However, he goes. The Drake is now 140 feet away. The short bow attack is at disadvantage.
A lot less annoying than re-rolling everything.
That still hits, actually, even with disadvantage.
Wait, but does he take damage for the...
He does.
Oh.
I don't know what you.
7
3 ones.
plus is 10.
10. Okay. So.
If only I could eat like a block of cheese, I'd get another. Would have had another hit point.
You think this is Skyrim?
Apparently.
And just with a 1 on his damage roll, but he has a +3, so he just manages to take out the Drake from 140 feet.
Nice.
It sinks and it looks like it's gonna miss, but it wings the foot, and that's enough, and the Drake just comes crashing down and is unmoving.
That's fantastic.
All right, Morthos is up, but we're getting out of combat. So, are you dispelling spiritual guardians?
As soon as I see that the thing goes down, I'm gonna dispel them.
Okay.
Though
so they,
there's still enough time for it'll take me a second or two. So
yeah, it wouldn't get to Morthos. I'm just making sure that we don't get back to Cranmore,
it might.
so that he doesn't take 2.
Please don't.
Where is
Dead
Jasmine
moose.
in the order? Is she within 2 people?
She's at the top of the next order.
Yeah, she would be after Morthos.
Then I think it gets her.
Okay. So Morthos and Jasna make wisdom saves.
Wait, Morthos is fine because he's out of range.
Jasna
So is-
make wisdom save.
Oh, she's probably gonna be fine.
22.
Yeah, she
Okay.
good.
They don't attack.
I should
they
have been fine too.
You just rolled really low.
Yeah, a 1 is not good.
All right.
Or
So
whatever I got.
everything dissipates. Battle is over.
Okay, I'm gonna sprint over to Cranmore and.
You're right there already.
Oh. I'm still gonna sprint because it's dramatic, and I'm like that.
His sprint is 6 steps. 6 only for you.
And I give him 13 hit points.
Thanks.
There you go, friend. So he's back up. And
What
I
whiskey
turn.
do we have out?
Well, we got
Yours
these
and
two.
this.
I'm gonna go grab the Glenlivet. Anybody else want some?
Yeah, I'll take a glass.
All right.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask for one. I
That's
saw
fine.
glasses on the table. I thought that.
I took my medicine right before I got here, so I need to wait a little bit anyways.
Glasses for anyone else?
I think we all have glasses.
We
except
all.
for Jesse.
Well, everybody else has glasses except for Jesse.
Wow. Y'all are dicks, by which I mean I'm a terrible host.
Thank you, sir.
And you want the Glenlivet?
Yes, Yes, please.
There's less
Okay,
blame when we
so-
share it.
Jasna.
Yes, but it wouldn't be me if I shared the blame. It's all my fault. I'm the worst host to ever grit.
You
to
are
ever
the DM.
disgrace
You're also
this planet.
host. Why are you agreeing?
No. I am the man of the house.
As the-
I
as
take
the-
the blame for this.
As the patriarch of the house, it is his.
Yes.
It is to
As
his
the
failings.
pater familias.
Is there anything special about the creatures that we could take? Maybe
Their
they're
wings.
I'm
Teeth
sure.
or wings
I'm
or something like
sure
that?
Garrick is gonna go around and try to take whatever he can from the creatures.
Yes, he is. And actually,
like take the teeth out of their mouth or something like that.
Whatever he wants for his
So
weird
if you
shit.
all would
I
like
want
to make
their
survival
wings.
checks, you can go ahead and go and try and collect things from them.
Can I get up?
Yeah, he can get up.
Yeah,
She healed
Alright.
you.
Yeah.
he's got a
just-
21.
They
I got
both
a-
healed you.
I
Oh
got-
wait, you were rolling for
I got
Oh
a-
yeah, no, I didn't
Sorry.
heal him.
18.
I also got a 21.
nice.
Any of you guys hurt? You guys okay? Are you okay? Are you
I'm-
okay?
I'm good.
I'm actually
But-
fantastic.
But before we do
Yeah.
anything, I have something to say. Norwyn, what the everlasting fuck is wrong with your spiritual guardians?
I don't know.
Hold on. No one else is hurt?
Garrick is a little hurt. He's like, it's not bad, but I took some.
Okay, I'll fill him up.
10.
10. He gets 10 back.
Okay.
Garrett,
Deception,
so-
insight.
So you're allowed to touch yourself and heal?
You cannot.
Can you touch yourself?
Yes! Yes!
Can you heal? Can you heal while touching yourself?
Strangely enough, paladins can touch themselves, but monks cannot.
I took an oath, man.
So did the paladin.
15.
But they can touch themselves. I love Glenlivet.
I got a 16.
Glenlivet is not a sponsor of the
Oof.
show or in any way affiliated.
That is good.
So it was
15,
21,
16.
21, 18, and
Yeah.
then what were these?
15,
16.
16.
I
Okay.
deceive her just barely.
It seems
She's like,
forthright.
she's
It's-
like, not really sure.
it's like, it's dicey, but he seems like he's telling the truth.
We just want to make sure you're not going through what you went through that time ago when you were possessed.
You're not getting like headaches or night
Nothing's-
tremors or terrors
Nothing's
or
possessing
sweating?
me.
Not like
Yeah,
sweating?
we're here for you.
I'm not.
Are you a kobold?
I'm not being
What?
possessed.
No.
We're
Garrick likes
ready
this,
to
like,
fight
raspy
dragons
voice
and fell
on it.
trees and that sort of thing.
I think
And
I'm
it-
okay.
All right.
And it wasn't even the same creature that you put out there. It looked fiendish.
Yeah. I don't know why that happened exactly. Do I have to make another deception check or
No.
Okay.
You can make an insight check if you'd like.
So does that mean I get 2 since I'm terrible?
That's 4.
18?
Oh, that does it.
He seems to be hiding something. It's not entirely clear what, but there's more going on than he's telling.
I'm gonna hold on to that for now.
Garrick does not insight check you.
Just like with the kobold. Like, okay, yeah,
wouldn't.
just come with us though.
He would.
I'm just gonna hold on to this. Actually, I'm also gonna play that. You don't know that I that I. cast
but-
that
oh, yeah.
effect.
But we did take the survival check, so we.
Yes. So let me check the rules for The Witcher real quick, so I know what he wants to do. Where did I put them? I can go on GM Binder.
Hey.
Those things were pretty. What direction do those things come out of?
People eat dragons.
Do you want to eat dragons?
Make an intelligence
That was
history
stupid.
check specifically.
So
What was that?
A 6.
Plus
you can eat
8.
dragons.
15. 14.
It's not unheard of, although it is also not particularly common, mostly
eat
because of the rarity.
dragons or
I bet
drakes?
it's like gator, which is really good. You can do an andouille sausage with gator meat.
So did you say to eat
I bet
dragons or
that's
drakes?
Dragons.
Oh, I wanted to know about
But
drakes.
like draconic meat is similar. Like any cousin of the dragon would have a similar kind of thing to it.
It's probably just hard
A
to
sort
catch
of
them.
sort of like reptilian, but very steaky, very full of protein. Alligator has the most protein per gram of any meat, any commonly eaten meat.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So whatever Garrett doesn't want, I'm gonna put my hat on and then throw it back in the bag of holding.
I'm gonna recommend that someone try to get that stinger because I
Put
bet
your
that's
hat
valuable
on
to
the
somebody.
dragon.
Yeah, it should like I'm gonna wrap as much of the dragon as I can in the hat because the hat's really cold. So
Did
it
you make
should
your
keep-
oven mitts yet?
I have not. Does Jasmine have time for a sewing project?
Not as you're
Big
moving.
oversized gnome bits.
All right.
You can't crochet while on the mule.
Okay.
Cake good.
Garrick goes to work, and he collects the tail. He goes in and very expertly dices away around the poisonous sacs near the stinger, deftly sort of making his way around the wyvern's poisonous glands and various musculature and anatomy so that he can safely remove the tail, prepare it so that it can be used, so that it can be traveled with safely, and stashes it away in his bag. That's all I need. Any of you all are welcome to the rest.
So if we freeze dried these wings, could we use them to fly?
Nope. Nope.
For sure, no.
There's no way in hell that would work. None of the 9 of them.
Okay.
9 of them.
I'm gonna
Nine?
go cut out
Wyverns
some
have multiple
body
wings?
meat from.
No. None of the 9 hells.
Oh.
There's no way in any of the 9 hells that would work.
I'm gonna go cut out some body meat.
Okay. Go ahead and make. What was your survival check? Sorry.
18.
Yeah, you get 20 pounds worth.
Okay. How much can I wrap with my hat and insulate?
Like 5 pounds worth.
Well,
It's
I'm gonna
not a big hat. It's
So
like
I recommend you do a dry smoke treatment of
That's
this, and then you'll have a dragon jerky.
jerky is pretty good.
Probably do it when we camp.
technically wyvern jerky.
Wyvern. Righto.
Wyvern jerky. Oh, I love some wyvern
It
jerky.
does.
Does it have any cool teeth that we can make into cool jewelry?
Sure. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
collect
take
a
that
few
cool.
teeth with that. None of the actually the wyvern does have 2 venomous fangs, but they seem mostly not vestigial, but the poison is not as significant as in its stinger. You can grab those. You can grab some of the many normal teeth it has. Say a dozen.
Okay. I'm gonna get some teeth, and actually, I'm not gonna wrap the meat. I'll just take all the meat to make into smoked jerky. I'm not gonna take any of the meat in the hat, just in case I need the hat quickly.
Do I find any sticks or anything around?
Sure.
Okay.
Easily. It's a wood.
Okay. I'd put a stick in the ground and then put the wyvern's head on it.
Okay. Norwyn goes about the work of decapitating the wyvern, which isn't too difficult because it's kind of semi-vertebrate. It's not it doesn't have a full spine, but it's kind of cartilaginous.
Why are you taking this
What
head?
are you planning to accomplish?
This seems unusual.
Just sticks it on a pike.
Just stick it on there.
Not that I'm not a fan of decapitating things, Norwyn, but this does seem concerning.
A lot of
This is not like you.
Sorry. I've just been thinking about a lot.
I would think that you wouldn't want to be
You're
around dragons
thinking
anymore.
about it a lot to decapitate and
No, I just have a lot on my mind.
Norman, go ahead and make a
there's a lot of
wisdom
that.
check for me.
+5. Wisdom saving throw or
Just check. Straight check.
so +5?
Okay. Alright. Good to know. Okay. Garrick is kind of well, it looks kind of cool.
Norn and dragons make me uncomfortable. Also, I think it'd be nice to get a short rest.
Can we take a long rest?
Not in the middle of the day, you cannot.
No.
Now we should probably get on the road and get further to our destination.
Let's get on to our destination.
Oh yeah, we're pretty close to.
How far away to the town to this?
Not far.
Okay, we can press on.
It'll take you probably till the end of the day, but you'll get there. Okay, so pressing on or taking a short rest, or what are we doing?
Let's press on if we're close by.
Let's press on.
Okay.
We carry on.
Okay, so carry on my wayward sons. I won't sing anymore.
Thank you for that promise.
Dun, Don't you cry no more.
And no more for copyright.
What's that?
I said, and no more for copyright. Fair use, 30 seconds. Okay, so you press on, and towards evening, a little bit after sunset, but as it's winter time, the hours just after dusk are still somewhat well lit. You press on a little ways, and on the horizon you begin to see a dark shape sort of taking form that you spy as being the walls of a city. And you gather that this is the destination that you have been approaching over the past several days. Drawing nearer, you see points of light begin to emerge in the darkness.
Are they
Several
vertical?
of them.
Jesse, does your turret disappear at the end of a battle?
Not lines.
Yeah, points.
It
Oh.
disappears after
An hour,
10 minutes.
10 minutes, something.
Is it still there?
Nope.
How long? Oh, no, it's evening, sorry.
Yeah, it's been a few hours.
Kate wanted it now.
Okay, so... Oh yeah, that's true. You can just keep giving people 10 HP.
Oh, I could.
Is that super broken? Oh wait, no, it doesn't stack. That's right. It's not super broken because you can't just.
Oh, so
keep,
we all have.
you can give everybody that temp HP.
But does
How much?
hers temp HP stack onto my temp HP from a
yes.
different source?
Yeah, as long as it's not from the same source.
How much temp HP do we have?
You
You
have.
want to roll it again?
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be the same for them.
Where's my. Oh, there it is.
Why do you need temp HP?
13.
We don't.
Can't hurt.
Right.
That goes through a long rest, right?
No, it does not. It does
Oh.
reset at a long rest.
Okay.
So you said 13.
So you approach and you see these points of light begin to
That's
emerge in the
66.
darkness, and they look to be like many campfires. And as you approach even a little bit closer, maybe a mile and a half away, you see a significant number of tents that are set up outside of the city.
Danish
Some
army.
of them are small, some of them are quite significant. Some plain, some adorned with more intricate sort of decoration that you can not quite make out, but you can get hints of from this distance.
I think it's the Danish army.
I think you're right. This would be an excellent place for them to be camped out because we're right next to the water, so it'd be a really good city to like.
We're just here to get onto a craft to
Yeah.
go down the river, right?
Yeah, we.
I don't want to make clear that my axe has disappeared. If we have to interact with him, we can let him know about the coven we eliminated at the other city, which is protected by the
How
Danish
far
army.
away is this army?
It's approximately a mile from
It'd
you.
be helpful to
at
tell
this
them that
point.
we just rid of dragons
Okay.
in the area too. Wyverns, drakes.
Do we know that
Flying
they
lizards.
are friends or foes to the dragons?
No. I would
I'm-
probably tell
I'm-
these guys, hey, if there are dragons around, there's probably 3 less, but I'm probably not even gonna say that. They're gonna ask why I look like crap.
I'd probably not say much about the drakes. Just I don't trust them that much.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I'm kind of recalling a little bit back to Norwyn and dragons, and I don't know what I know and don't know except that.
Yeah, we should probably keep that to ourselves. I would
Yeah.
say.
Fair enough.
When we're
Well, you-
within a mile of the center of the camp, I do something.
Okay. Did you message me or?
No.
Okay.
If they ask us why we're traveling, we can always. I wouldn't even be lying to say that I wanted to expand my merchant business and that I want to travel for. And, yeah,
I'm trying to get close to home.
yeah. You're trying to get
I gotta
close
get
to
back
home.
home.
I'm looking for some
We're
like
getting some
other.
passage downstream.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm.
that's all.
Yeah, they might just ask why we're trying to find a ship, and I think we should definitely.
I don't want to have
Have
to
some-
lie to
You're a
people.
trader and you need to get merchandise for your shop.
Yeah, and then if they have any way of telling if I'm lying, it's not a lie. It's just not the whole truth. So, we should be fine.
Sins of omission or sins too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Where are you going? Downriver? Why? I don't know. These guys said it was a good idea.
You want to ride a boat?
Kind of. I've never been on a boat.
All right, you are within a mile.
Okay. I do clairvoyance to the center of the camp.
So straight path is what that shows you, right? The clearest path.
So it just like the range is a mile, and it just. Like if I notice like a more ornate tent or something, or like a something like that.
I think they last until your next rest. The hit points.
Is it? Oh, it's
Yeah.
invisible.
Or and you lose them first.
Okay.
Went for with damage.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you choosing at first?
Vision.
Okay. So you're casting at sort of the largest shape you can see that seems to be closest to the center. Sort of optimization problem, the meeting between the two. And you pick a tent and go for it. And it seems that you've chosen well. What you see as your senses are transported to this new space are a few people, 3 to be exact, clad in the ebon armor of the Danish army. And one of them seems to be sort of the highest in stature. What are you looking at?
Did you hurt yourself? Is it burned?
I don't know.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
So you see this this one figure who seems to be higher in stature than the other two, and he's sort of chatting with them, casually chuckling every now and then. The other two, the man himself. Let me describe. Well, yeah. Let me describe him to you in a minute. The other two seem to largely be like laughing at his jokes and engaging in conversation with him. They seem to be genuinely laughing at his jokes, like they've been, like they're friends. They have been for a while, and they are the only 3 in the tent.
Okay.
Let me see if there is a description of him in here. Sorry for the delay.
You're good.
Is there any indication that they are shadow demons, the Wraith Hearts?
Nope. They seem to be normal humans.
Okay. It is in fact the Danish army.
Okay, so there's no explicit description, so I will describe him as follows. He's an elderly man, maybe in his later 50s now, and yet the musculature of youth and the life of a soldier has not yet left him. He is still thick, broad of chest, broad-shouldered, and he moves with a confidence and a strength that you would expect of a seasoned veteran. His hair is graying, though underneath you see hints of a pale blonde. His eyes are a piercing, bright greenish blue, almost an aqua color. His lips are tight and drawn. He has no laugh lines upon his face, though he has crow's feet encroaching at the edges of his eyes and creases on his brow. His cheeks are sort of pulled tightly against his bones underneath, revealing sort of a sallow but still noble jawline.
Is he? You said human.
Mhm.
Alright. Then I switched to hearing.
Okay. These bastards, they do nothing but want for protection and whine about the lack of this or not enough of that. We might as well be protecting cattle, except that cattle, you could kill them and eat them. And the other two laugh when he says this.
Wow, this guy's a dick.
It's kind of funny.
I can still eat him.
With any luck, we'll get some more Gillian before the week is out. Wait.
Gillian.
With any luck, we'll get to Orgillian before the week is out.
Or Gilliam?
Orgillian.
It's probably a place called Orgillian,
It's not the right
as
map.
opposed to a conjunction, Gillian.
Gillian is not a conjunction?
Or is a conjunction.
Oh.
We'll get two. Or Gillian.
Okay.
Gillian's a number.
Or just an
like a-
alternative.
It's like a bajillion.
He's just mispronouncing Jillian.
Yeah.
He's like, it's Gillian, right?
Do I have
first
any
thing that I
idea?
heard.
Do I have any idea what Orgillion is?
Make a history check.
I thought Orgillion might be some kind of precious material, like two.
Two.
No
plus
idea.
Numbers. Does anybody know what Orgillion is?
Can I make a history check?
Sure.
We don't make him since he's asking out loud.
Is
notice
it a
I'm not
town in
rolling.
Erevar?
You don't know.
Or
Do I know?
that's
Make
why
a-
I'm
make a
saying you
16.
might know.
14.
Nope and nope.
A what check?
History.
Oh, 16.
Okay, you know.
All right.
The DC was lower for him because
I
he's from
know.
there.
For once.
Do you have a 0 to history modifier?
Yes.
Yes, I have a 0 to knowing things.
Nonetheless, in your travels, you did pass by this place. Orgillion is the name of a city that hosts a. It's mostly a military establishment. It is dominated by a very well fortified structure manned by the Orgillion garrison. It is a key defensive point that is sort of westerly along the Darin River from where you are.
Are they at all
And it's
friendly-ish?
quite close to the river itself.
Are they at all friendly-ish to travelers?
To Erevari travelers, although you would gather, given more time, they may be more leery.
How do you spell this?
Orgillian.
Why are you asking us about Orgillion? Do we know about?
Norwyn does seem to like sort of go into a trance for a moment, and like his eyes and ears are elsewhere, and then suddenly he kind of like jumps back and like, anybody know what Orgillion is?
I also said before, it's definitely the Danish army.
Yes, that's true. So you don't know exactly how he knows this.
But you know where it is.
Vaguely.
Wait.
Did you say where it was? In the.
It is westerly of you, north of the Great Darin River.
Northwest, north of the Great Dainish.
When I was heading south, I think I passed it.
Interesting.
And people on the way to it.
Is there anything significant there that would make us want to stop there?
A wall
A nice.
with folks in metal in it.
So it's
You have crushed my enemies in their steel suits.
But it's more of this, but with a wall.
but
This
why
city
would
has a wall,
why
Oh,
would
but the
wait,
tents are outside of it.
Okay.
why would what did you hear about Orgillion?
It seems the Danish army is moving on it.
Moving on it, so they're declaring war with Erevar?
What did they say?
They already have,
I
and
think they're
you're
done.
aware of this.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
moving through it.
Oh, this is a different army then.
No, this is the Danish
This
army.
is still
It's
the
the
Danish
same
army.
army.
It's just a different,
It's a different
subsection
yeah.
of it.
It's a different platoon or
Isn't there like
Regiment.
a war crime if you make a profit during profiteering?
Yeah, that's not a thing here.
Okay, good, because I think
Be
it's
careful
exactly
with
what
that one's
Jasmine's
mount.
trying to do.
It's coming off.
Yeah, I know. Why are you doing things with
Oh,
it?
I was afraid it was gonna fall down.
It's not going to, but if you move it around enough, maybe you can make it. I spent like 30 minutes drilling that hole in the wall. Why would you do this?
All I did was take it off.
Yeah, you moved it a lot. Okay, it's fine. Just gonna have to redo it. Okay. Yes, Orgillion Garrison.
So did they say they were like moving on it within a certain time frame, or?
He said hopefully by the end of the week
Okay.
they'll be
Ooh,
there.
I bet we could make a lot of money by going and telling Orgillion that.
You are profiteering.
Make an intelligence check. You don't know that word.
That's very true.
You don't know that
So you're gonna make money off of this situation that seems like it could, I bet folks aren't cool with that all the time.
I bet folks are cool. It depends on the
It
folks
sounds
you
like you're
talk
taking
about.
advantage.
That depends on the folks you talk about.
Yeah.
But think about if we made more money.
I know things.
You could buy more
I
candy
know things and stuff.
and more books for children.
Yeah, I know you're trying to make it sound nice, but it's still the moral.
The ends don't justify the means, Jasna. Or
Fine.
should we call you Machiavelli?
Apparently, I don't know what that is either.
No one does, to be
Nobody
fair
does.
to Cranmore.
I could have eaten
Well,
it up.
Anyway, we probably, regardless of whether or not we profit off this situation that just fell into our laps very easily, we probably want to beat the Danish army and to make sure that we're nowhere near Gillian. And
But there's
a
only
week-
like 5 of us, and there's a whole army of them. We can't beat them.
I mean, get down the river faster than them.
What you meant?
He's just role-playing his intelligence.
I was thinking the same thing. I just wasn't gonna say it.
Actually, my wisdom is pretty high. That would have been.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's a good
Do I
point.
hear anything else?
Do you continue listening?
Yeah.
For the most part, it seems to be them telling. They're all assholes, all 3 of them. And it seems to be them just disparaging the people of the city and talking about how they'd rather be on the battlefield killing.
Ooh, maybe we should tell the city people what these.
Do I catch?
Actually, make a perception check.
8 plus 5 is 13.
Okay. Yeah. After maybe 5 or 10 minutes of this, how long does clairvoyance last?
10 minutes.
Okay. After like 5 or 6 minutes of this, it seems like nothing's really like working, and you keep listening, but nothing really interesting comes up for the remainder of that time.
What was I gonna say? Oh, do I catch their names?
Yes. You hear one of the younger men refer to the older one as Christoph. And you only catch one of the younger men's names. You catch Karstag.
Christoph and Karstag. All right, so shall we approach? They're
Well, They're in
we
front of the city. Do we have
to walk through them. Okay. We have to get through them and get to the city, and it's not like travelers aren't going into the city.
Yeah.
So as I come back, I say, I think if we asked for Christoph or Karstag, these are a couple of the names that I caught. Maybe we can convince them that we are here to help, and they will let us pass through.
You don't think they'll just let us pass through anyway?
As a backup.
As the backup is good.
Yeah. Why don't we? Yeah. We can
Otherwise,
try
they
to
might
walk-
ask for our help.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we don't really want to help them, unless it would make us more money.
I'm okay with helping them.
There's a word at the tip of
This
my
is-
mind for this.
This does look like drifting towards evil. You've seen Wraithhearts.
What are? Oh yeah. So I like to just Morthos is right. Let's just.
I say we just walk through. Don't give them anything. Just walk through. Try to say we're travelers. We need to go down the river.
As you approach the first few tents, there are guards making patrols with maybe 100, 200 feet between them, so that they can pretty much see that area and most of the area at all times. And they quicken pace as they see you all approach to sort of meet you at the head of the camp.
That's fine.
One of the soldiers comes up and sort of eyes the group of you. And what do travelers have doing in this part of the land at this time of night?
We've been traveling for several days, and we're here to find passage down the river.
I see, and you hope to find such in the city.
Yes.
Very well, I would advise you to come back at daytime. The gates are closed for the night.
Is there a safe place that we can rest overnight?
You're welcome to make camp outside of our tents, or if you are so inclined, you may try to find shelter within one of them. Some of the soldiers may be amenable.
Okay.
This is
Why?
how
why-
how wise does this guy look?
Make an insight check.
12.
Hard to tell.
It's just-
What, is there a reason for the gates to be closed so early with you guys protecting it?
Well, we are making rounds. It's difficult to man things quite as fully during the evening as it is during the day, and so with a lowered guard presence in time of war, we don't take any risks.
We just had a rough road, and we would love to have a bed to sleep in.
I am
Yeah,
sorry
I know.
for your difficulties, but well,
I think we can make it one more
Is
night.
there, is there anything that could change your mind?
Depends.
That's
what you offer. As I've said, some of the soldiers may be amenable to housing you.
22.
22. Well, perhaps we could find some arrangements for you. However, outside of the city, I must insist.
That's fine by me.
That's good by me too.
Okay.
Very well. And
Does
she
he
motions
does
to-
he seem to be hiding anything?
Hmm?
Does he seem to be hiding anything?
No, didn't you just make an insight check?
Yeah.
Not with that score.
Okay.
So has he gone off, or are we alone again? Or are we following what's going on?
She is gesturing to the rest of her patrol
Okay.
and is going to lead you all deeper into the camp.
Okay.
Should we be worried about sleeping with them? Do we?
Well, we probably won't catch anything.
Sleeping with them. Okay.
We probably won't catch them sleeping.
Okay. So let's see.
I really just need to rest.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
So
still
she
not
takes
feeling
you-
so hot, you know.
She takes you maybe 100 or so yards into the camp as the tents begin to get a little bit denser. She stops by one in particular and gestures you all towards it and says, "These louts never come back to camp for the evening. They spend their nights whoring and drinking. If it please you, you can spend your night in their tent."
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's rather humble, but it'll do. There are a few cots, 3 cots, strewn about the floor. A little bit of a small, cooking fire. Not too much else. There's a few things in the way of blankets or furs to keep you warm at night. Nothing special.
I roll a 17 to go around looking at the soldiers to see for any signs of wraithhearts.
Are you going? Wait, what's the roll? Are you going investigation?
Investigation.
Okay. Are you doing this stealthily or out in the open?
Just out in the open.
Okay. Just milling about?
Yep.
Wraithhearts you do not spy. However, what was the total?
17.
You spy a face that for whatever reason jogs your memory. And you feel something in the back of your head sort of fighting to try and get out. You're not sure why, but you recognize it.
I go up to the face.
Okay. There is a body attached to the face.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, it's not just like a floating face.
I
The head of
I introduce myself. I'm sorry. Have I met you before?
He looks at you for a moment and he sort of narrows his eyes and a realization dawns in them and his eyes grow wide and he, no, I'm sorry. And he just turns and quickly walks away.
I follow him.
Okay?
Wait.
He picks up pace.
I can't continue to pick up pace.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Malaraxus says stop.
He freezes.
back here.
He turns, and he begins slowly walking towards you. A few heads poke out of tents, sort of watching what's going on.
Where do I know you from?
You were in the camp at... Shit, what was the town they were in? Oh god. Oh, they were just on the riverbank. They weren't in the town.
Oh, okay.
You were at the camp on the Darren River a week or so ago. You're terrifying this. I'm sorry for any offense that I may have given.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Thank you. He bows
With a stone cold
deeply.
face, not even looking him in the eye.
Yep. He bows like very. He has not dared to look up to your face. He's like been focused on like your neck or below the whole time. And as you say you forgive him, he like bows deeply and just stares at your feet for like 20 seconds.
Does he know, like... Actually, I ask him in like a sort of non-obvious way about signs of the Wraithhearts.
Okay.
Not really sure how that would sound, though.
Like what information are you trying to glean? Like signs of their presence?
Yeah.
Because you know what they look like.
Signs of their presence, yes.
Okay. Well, I guess you've been asleep for a while. Wherever they are, there tends to be a dark fog that lies over the land. It is an eerie, a queer thing. It is not like anything I've seen. It is like were the morning mist to be mixed with the blackest depths of the deepest cave.
Have you seen your king recently?
Not since the day after our last meeting.
Did you see the fog around him?
No.
You're dismissed.
He somehow bows even deeper and like shies away a couple of steps before straightening up almost all the way and turns and goes. There are maybe 6 people looking at you.
I cast prestidigitation in like 30 feet and over somewhere else.
Okay.
As a distraction, and then I slip away.
Okay, make a performance check.
Ooh. 7.
Look, a decoy.
What's that distraction over there? Some of them do look over at the sound and see sort of like a strange, like emanating light from nowhere. But as you shift away, you see one face that has still sort of kept eyes on you. Doesn't do anything though. Just lets you go.
I try to remember the face.
Make an intelligence check.
Nope.
Dark. It is hard to recall perfect details. Total was 7?
For performance,
No, for the intelligence.
it was a total of 3.
Your intelligence is only a +1?
Yeah.
Oh, it's your whiz that's higher. That's right. Okay. Yeah, dark. Hard to make out real details.
There's a face.
No, it was male. That you did get.
Okay.
But more than that, it was hard to make out. So yeah, are you making your way back to your all's tent?
Yep.
Okay. The rest of you, as this has been going on, have just sort of been bedding down and preparing for the evening, I imagine. Do you want to work on anything?
You have a nice stroll.
Yeah,
Yeah. Can I work on my wings?
Sure.
I found somebody that apparently saw me as Malaraxis. Give me some information. Apparently, the wraith hearts leave a black fog around them. No.
I can help you cure some of that drake meat.
Ooh, excellent. I'm gonna pull out all 20 pounds. Let's see, Morthos on the grill.
It's a relatively small cooking fire. You can maybe get through 2 pounds of it during your downtime for the rest. But yeah, you start up the small cooking fire and lay them out and sort of let the smoke dry out the meat and turn it to jerky. Yeah, you make some decent progress, and you have 2 pounds of wyvern jerky.
Are we close by to another tent? Is there other soldiers?
They're pretty clustered about here.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
All right, cool. Okay, anything else? Are you all going to bed?
Can I see if just like wandering through the camp, there's anything that's obviously like very magical?
So you're gonna like cast detect magic and walk around for half an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or for 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Yeah.
You can jog.
Well,
laps.
Do a lap.
Be careful.
Wait, what am I rolling for? What do I have to roll?
Detect magic would just do it.
Yeah, you don't.
You
You
don't
just
roll anything.
roll investigation, maybe.
Not even.
Oh.
It just
Okay.
Fair or
shines.
not.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I see while I'm jogging?
Let's see.
I'm very short, so this is gonna take me a long time.
Within 10 minutes, you were about. Okay, let me envision this in my head.
And it's only within 30 feet of you.
I will actually have you make an investigation check to see how aptly you go places that there might be magic. By blind luck, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, it's an investigation check. I don't
Oof.
know.
13.
Okay. No, nothing pops out at you as particularly magical. On your jog, you do get one very inebriated soldier is sort of stumbling back across your path towards something behind you. His tent is maybe on the other side of you. But he goes up and goes, hey, what's somebody like you doing out in the dark?
So he falls asleep, kind of?
No, he's like nodding off, but he's not like asleep. He's just very drunk.
Nothing much. And as I walk past him, I try to steal his wallet.
Okay.
Oh,
Do
God.
I have to make a deception?
Make a sleight of hand check.
18.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, he's drunk.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's none the wiser. Just kind of looks at you as he passes. Good night. Stumbles away. Inside the wallet, there are 17 gold pieces.
Cool.
And a picture of his children.
Wait, they have photography?
A little sketch.
painting.
It's a
It's
sketch
a
piece.
charcoal drawing. of his
Small
children.
lithograph.
Of stick figures.
That would almost be sadder because that would be like drawn by his kid.
It's like little wooden sculptures of his kids in the sack.
Cranmore once made him sculptures of his children.
I knew this guy.
Wait a minute, I recognize this.
No, just 17 gold pieces. Nothing heartbreaking.
Before I go to bed, I researched that resilient sphere.
Okay.
Is there new rules or something
Yes.
now?
So at the end of this week, we'll have you make an Arcana check, and that'll determine the remainder of your progress. Effectively.
End of the world week.
Oh, that's the
not
only
end of
change?
the play week.
Correct. Well, so you don't have to make a roll for it. Effectively, is the thing. Like it's just the Arcana check happens at the end of the week, and that will determine your progress.
Oh,
I
wait.
think I got all the way
So
there.
effectively,
didn't I, with that?
if you succeed on the check, then you get some progress towards the spell, and you might get a boon depending on how well you succeed. If you fail, you might just not make progress, or you might actually get like a negative effect to the spell.
Okay.
It is a bit more difficult than the system we were going with before, but
I got a
think
0, 0, 0, 0.
Yeah, so you would have gotten 100 and done it. But So part of the reason is like this is inventing newer spells, and so it's a lot of work.
Okay.
It is difficult research to complete.
I see.
But yeah.
So then, do I even just
you don't make
not
a roll
bother?
each night.
But then, do I just not bother saying that I'm gonna do that?
Unless you say otherwise, I will assume that you're working on it.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I make it all the way up on that one? I thought I did.
All the way up.
Or you just keep learning it, or do you get to a certain point and you just
So
have
you're
it?
you'll be using the same rules as him.
Okay.
But you already learned it.
Yeah, I thought I did too.
But yes, you did complete it.
I don't know if I wrote it down.
Do you want
But for future spells, actually, yeah, you know what? We'll say that Norwyn, we'll start it with the next spell that you learn, and we'll say that you do complete the spell, especially because if Morthos already has it, he's probably giving you pointers.
Okay.
So yeah, with a 100 on your roll, yeah, you complete the spell this evening, and you can add it to your repertoire.
Cool. And that's a 4th level spell slot.
Yes.
Can I use this?
And it's Odaluke's Resilience Sphere in the rulebook, but in this world it is called Dale's Resilience Sphere.
Dale. Oh, that's what I couldn't find it. That's why.
Yeah. So Odaluke is the name in the spellbook. O-T-I Luke. As you are in a camp that is populated with many soldiers, you needn't make any perception checks for the evening. You don't have any difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep safely.
Oh, because I can't find it.
Thank God.
If you would like to keep a watch, just in case any weirdness goes on within the camp, you're welcome to, but you don't need to for a rest.
I'll take a watch.
Cool.
I'm out. I was like less than half a hit points still.
I wouldn't
Garrett will
mind.
take it instead.
I want to see if I can trade some of this uncooked meat for some ale from our neighbors.
Okay.
I can make beer
Neighbors.
like out of nothing. I haven't
Out
had
of
alchemy
nothing.
Like just
Jesus.
I
You
can
have a what?
Yeah,
You have a what?
I have an alchemy jug. I can just make beer out of nothing if you want some.
yes.
I pour
This is
him
amazing.
2 gallons of beer because that's how much I think I make.
This could end war.
That is the most fantastic trick I think I've ever seen.
It could also cause war.
I can also make 2 gallons of mayonnaise, which is significantly less use.
Wait.
You could found
That's
Belgium.
really a thing you can do?
I
You
have
could be utilizing her for your your nonprofit work.
Oh yeah, I can make a gallon
Here's
of
another tub of mayonnaise.
Starving kids just need some protein, you know?
I can do honey, mayonnaise, beer, wine, oil, acid, and poison.
Peanut butter? No.
You're not gonna mix them up, are you? I thought it was
A
honey.
little cocktail.
Poison
of sorts.
mayonnaise.
Honeyed wine.
You could do honey wine.
Ooh, thank you, Chunky Milk, for following us.
Hey, thank you, Chunky Milk.
Oh, I
So
thought
glad you did
you
that.
were saying any
I mean,
character.
honey in it.
I did.
That's like without bees. That's
What
weird.
voice should I use? Well, thank you, Chunky Milk, for the follow. We're glad to have you with us. All right.
So it's the next morning, eh? And we woke up and we're okay.
Yep.
All right. Get my stuff back.
Who's got the highest passive perception?
Me.
Mine's 14. Yours is 15.
Okay.
For now.
As morning comes,
I have 15.
and you, nice. So the two of you then, as morning comes, see as you exit your
Oh, I'm sorry.
tent.
Passive perception 10. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Is it your passive?
Very different.
Very,
investigation.
very different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
that'd be
bad. My bad.
It's like I thought you were smarter than you were perceptive, but. Oh, speaking of which, what day is it? Chunky Milk 4570. You forgot to mention that part.
It disappeared before I could remember it.
Let's see.
Come back.
We are on 4, so nothing yet. All right. So it is Monday, the 4th week of Snow Scour. You wake up, and Norwyn, as you all exit the tent, preparing to sort of approach the gate to the city, you notice a few people who are sort of milling about, but also keeping an eye on you. Like they seem to be going about daily tasks, but they're definitely every now and then casting a glance over at your group as you're preparing for the day.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
I make a note of it and I just keep it to myself.
darn paparazzi. I'll be glad to get out.
Do I notice anything off about them? Are they soldiers? Like
They are all soldiers. They seem to be a varying rank. Anyone from the lowly foot soldier to you see somebody in what looks to be maybe a captain's gear who passes by and sort of appraises the group of you.
What was Kristoff's rank?
It was not explicitly stated, but higher than a captain. Perhaps a commander or a major, or maybe, major doesn't really exist. Perhaps almost a general or something very similar.
Okay.
Can we make our way into the city?
So you approach, and as you get quite close to the gates, the tents do thin out a bit. There's maybe a 200-yard radius hemicircle, sort of abutting the front of the city wall, which raises maybe 20-25 feet in the air, is made of stone, has small crenellations atop it where you can see a few guards are milling back and forth in very tight formation and in quick sort of laps between, so that there isn't much gap between seeing any one place. There is a heavy wrought iron gate and portcullis that sort of...
Tum-tum! Hi, Tum-tum!
The cat is thinking about nibbling at the cables.
Yeah. A wrought iron portcullis that blocks entrance into the city that must be raised in order to allow entry. There are maybe 24 or so other people who are already sort of at the gate waiting to get in. And you see maybe 5 or 6 guards at the base, very carefully inspecting each group. There's a few other figures sort of milling about in this sort of open space. Some of them seem to be hawking wares, advertising goods, attempting to make a quick sale on people who are about to enter the city with baubles or trinkets that they may find useful or that they may simply just desire, hoping to take advantage of the sort of fiduciary liberality that comes with visiting a larger city.
So it's a decent sized city.
Yes, it's maybe 6,000 or 7,000 people.
Okay.
It's not quite as big as Ire Hall, but it's decent.
So this is like right
Is it
before you get to
6 to
check out.
7 or 6 to 7?
627. Many more with the current military occupation, but typical residents would be about that. You estimate.
Such a small city by today's standards.
So we can walk right in, or the gate's right open?
The gate is closed, and they seem to be investigating people as they're going in.
Okay. My battle axe is still invisible.
I think they recognize us.
Us.
Yes.
Well, we have gained
well,
notoriety.
some subset of us. Some of the soldiers have been eyeing us secretly.
Our objective is to get on a boat and get
Apparently
out
not
of
so
here,
secretly. so-
right?
It's a
Yeah.
decently high passive perception. Like they're not being super secret about it, but they're not being like,
It's what you would expect in having foreigners sleep in your camps, though. I mean, really.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can get through this gate without any issue and get in there and get our boat.
Yeah, it's our boat. Give it to us.
alrighty. So as you're approaching the gate, you note that the guards are indeed checking bags, checking over persons.
Oh, was there any ID in that wallet I stole?
No.
Okay.
Is that a thing?
You
It's
can
more
just
of
keep
a
the money and
pouch.
pitch the.
Yeah, I pitched the pouch.
Yeah.
Is our IDs a thing?
Not really.
I don't know.
Um,
I like that.
Let's see. Yes. So you see among the guards there is one figure who seems to be of a more arcane bent. They are in like more cloaks and draping clothing rather than in the armor of the soldiery, and they come up as each person goes and just give a like quick passing motion of the hand, like an arcane somatic component to a spell, before typically allowing people to pass. You see 1 or 2 times. Actually, no one would have been stopped. They're just passing hands over and checking people, and the mage allows them in after the soldiers have also cleared
A
them.
10 in Arcana. Can I tell what they're doing?
You cannot, actually.
They're waving people through.
As you approach, as you get a little closer, you do notice some of the guards, Norwyn you specifically, looking back, drawn by your large figure, Cranmore, and just sort of looking back into the line and seeing the group of you. Actually, I'd like everybody to make perception checks of the active nature. And everybody gets advantage.
20. Nat
Okay.
18.
20. I think that's a nat 20.
Yep. Cranmore, you see one of the guards like
9.
staring right at Norwyn and then shifting to Morthos and you and Jasna and
get it.
Garrick.
19.
Like each of you in turn, and he turns and just whispers to the guard, who then also looks across the faces.
Are we, we're still outside the city?
You're maybe 30 feet back in the line,
Did
and 50 feet from the portcullis.
we
So they totally made us.
did we dispatch all of the soldiers?
No, we let that one guy go on to a town. We showed him mercy. But I think the story of us has gotten out somehow.
Definitely have some notoriety by now.
Right.
Should
There's
we?
nothing wrong with that.
So they may or may not know that
They
you
just
have
might be a
anything,
little more
but they
specific.
definitely know that we're who we are.
They might be a little suspicious, but I don't think we have anything to worry about.
Yeah, and if they let us in, let's not fight because Morthos and I could sneak in invisible later if we have issues.
Sure.
Okay.
They know who we are. We can't lie and say we're someone else.
I'm fine with them knowing who we are.
How are you all discussing this? Are you saying it in hushed voices?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
quite
Okay.
quietly.
Go ahead and make stealth checks.
Ah,
I'm getting 13.
this got cocked when I got on my flat table. 8 plus stealth, you
Thir-
say?
13.
9.
20?
Yeah, 11.
13.
I think they know who we are.
Okay, cool. You talk quietly amongst yourselves as you approach. Finally, you make it to the front of the line, and the guard, one of them holds up a hand and says, "Hold." Gestures to the mage, who comes up and says, "Now please, if you would, step forward one at a time. Say you first."
Sure.
He touches his hand to the breast, like to the left breast of his cloak, and just sort of waves a hand in front of him, sort of in front of you, across your body. Looks you up and down for a moment. Okay. Next, and he motions Garrick forward.
Am I allowed to walk in the city now?
Go to them, and they'll check your belongings.
Okay.
Makes the motion over Garrick as well. What is that? I'm not doing this solely because Joel isn't here.
It's a sword.
Garrick pulls out the star and
That's great.
well, I got this sword from the Stargroves down in Allerton for a service rendered. What service would that be?
It's very complicated.
Killing a bunch of kobolds.
We invaded the den of a group of kobolds that were causing issue and sealed away the spirit of a great red dragon from long ago. And the mage sort of looks him up and down.
This guy?
A great token you bear then. Sorry. A great token you bear then. Very well. What was the highest perception? You got a nat 20, right?
And then I got a 19.
That was
I got that 20.
Cranmore.
Yeah.
It's mostly like they're being pretty quiet about things, so it's mostly the nat 20 that matters.
Uh-oh.
What's your total though with your bonus? Is it over 25?
I think it was 20 with the bonus.
Okay, you only have one for.
Or no, I think it was 19 with the bonus. I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then okay. You notice as the mage puts his hand down to his side before gesturing Norwyn forward, he clenches a fist.
I put my hand on Norwyn. You okay, buddy?
Next, come forth.
Yeah, I'm okay. What's up?
I need to check you over. Please come forward.
Okay.
He puts his hand over his chest, waves the other between the two of you, looks you up and down for a moment. Very good. Continue.
He doesn't care about any of my magic stuff?
Nope.
Okay.
Centaur or moose centaur?
Thou sayest.
Fascinating. From where do you hail, if I may ask? Just out of curiosity.
Pretty far north.
Well, step forward. And he kind of does the same thing and like, what's in your hands? Interesting. Very well. Go ahead. Warm.
5 hit points back to him if he had any not lost.
He didn't, but
My
like,
hangover
he's
just
this
cleared
warm,
up.
tingly human. And you?
I walk up to
He
him.
does the same motion once again. Doesn't seem to notice anything and allows you to pass forward. The guards are.
Can I retcon something?
Depends on what.
As the guy touches me.
Oh, he doesn't touch you.
Oh, he doesn't touch. Never mind.
It's just like it's a wave in front of you,
Okay.
and then he just sort of looks you up and down. He doesn't have to touch you for it.
What if I I briefly just move my
Stumble
torso
and, like,
forward a little bit?
What do you want to do?
I want to put a glyph of warding on him.
That's a bit much to retcon. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
that's okay.
Okay. So the soldiers look through each of your bags in turn.
Not my ebony plants.
And you all had... Okay, so Garrick has the letter, and they do find that. And unfold it, and they go... Huh. So you want to join the army, huh, kid? And Garrick looks a little offended at being called a kid, but this guy is on in his years. And he looks back up and says, I was considering it. Well, you've come to the right place, that's for sure. Won't be rounding a corner in that city without finding one of us to talk to. Hope you enjoy it. And there's a slight edge to his voice, like a slight venom as he says that you won't round a corner without finding one of them. It's well veiled, but especially like Cranmore, you get the sense of it, and probably you as well, Jasna, and maybe you as well. Passive insights. What are people's passive insights? I don't know.
15.
Mine's high.
It's based on wisdom, so 15.
Yeah.
I have proficiency
10.
insight.
Yeah, so it's like 18 for you,
Yeah.
or 17.
Well,
What's the bonus to insight?
+7.
Okay, so 17 would be your passive.
Mine's only 13.
Okay.
Mine's only 10.
Okay, so just you then catch the slight hint of venom in the voice.
What exactly did he say?
He said, you won't round a corner in the city without finding one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, he's saying that as like, oh, you want to join the military? Well, there's plenty of us to talk to. But there's like just the slightest hint of like, yeah, we're everywhere.
Right.
They let you in though. Confidently.
Oh man. Can I cast augury as a spell slot instead of a ritual?
I think so.
They didn't
I
confiscate
think
my
you can.
certificate of
Okay.
donation.
I'll do that, and
It's a good question though.
because it involves rolling dice and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if the rolling dice is just part of the ritual version of it.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, if so, I do that and ask what happens if we go into the city.
Did you give us a 10 hit points before we slept?
Oh, I
Yes.
cannot- Yeah. it was-
Yes.
So we lose this now. Just so you
Yep.
guys know.
Say the question again.
What happens if we go into the city?
You've not yet cast it today.
I'm gonna get some drink.
What happens if you go into the city today? Whoa.
Well, it was bad.
Yep.
I kind of like put my hands out like in front of everybody for a second, and then I like look up. And then I cast detect magic as a spell slot also.
Okay.
Do I see anything?
You do.
What do I see?
The mage, in his left breast, there is a glow from underneath of his cloak.
Did you tell us?
I'm too close to the guards.
You
to
are quite
mention
close
that.
to them. You're all within like a 30-foot radius.
How far exactly am I from everything?
You are perhaps 15 feet from the portcullis, which has yet to be raised, but is like about to be, as they're letting you through. And then you're maybe 5 to 15 feet from from the other guards, and 10 to 30 feet away from your friends. Here, let's go ahead and get a visual aid, if only for a moment.
Okay.
This one. So yeah, let's clear these off. And these.
Gentlemen.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Oh gosh, I just tore something. Oh jeez. Actually, we can make this a little bit smaller than the front half.
We need a bigger table, eh?
Hopefully we'll have some soon, eh?
Working. Get off my back.
You told me to get on it.
You told me to ride you.
Oh, nice.
And let me
That's a
grab
cool map.
some minis.
Yeah, I like it.
You know, I think it's a good idea.
Camera two's
sorry,
frozen.
out of character.
Camera 2 is frozen. I think it's that one over
Maybe
there.
we can get into a
Oh,
fight
yeah,
with a bunch
it was
of
pulled
guards.
out.
I think we should peace out and send Morthos and I back in invisible. That's my.
We need a boat, and I need to get my journal to the
I think we'll be fine.
Thieves Guild.
You think we'll be fine?
Yeah.
That's the only two things I care about right now.
Right, but I mean, I don't know if we should. I don't like legally going into this place. I feel like we should. We should have snuck.
Well, if they're around every corner.
Fair.
How do you get a boat then if you're sneaking?
We steal.
And then how do we get ourselves on?
I was barely able to sneak into that vampire coven, and they were asleep.
Alright, well, they're not the best minis ever, but they'll work. Did one of them die?
Oh, it got pulled out.
Let's see.
This is a prickly thing.
We need disguises.
Why can I
Yeah.
look at this?
Yeah, that one. Yep, that's right. That's right when he I
needed-
want.
What am I getting disguised as?
A cart.
A cart. I can act like a cart.
Oh no, that is not.
Maybe I can disguise myself as a horse centaur.
Yeah.
Nay. I'm a raging idiot.
That's the other one.
I say dude and bro all the time.
Hey,
There we go. There we go.
Alright, cool.
Thanks, Kate. Should be coming back on in a sec.
Yep.
Was the sound on the whole time?
Yeah.
Sorry to any of you.
Yeah, one of the
that's out
cameras
there.
is still going. It's just the other one got frozen.
Okay.
Does that dude have a dragon in his hand?
Yes.
He's doing
but
the best he can with what he
really.
has.
He doesn't really, but yes.
We've got a familiar.
Oh, they're that close?
Yeah.
Kate confirms it's on.
Thank you, Kate. Okay, so yeah, this is about the setup. It's pretty close knit. Well, really, everybody would be like back in their feet, but this is basically it. Yeah, you're about 20 feet from the portcullis. This is what I said. So this is about it.
Okay, so then I use sending to send a message telepathically to Cranmore.
I steal
You're
myself.
burning all these spell
Yeah.
slots.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I am.
Now, is this a bi-directional thing?
Yes,
Good.
for within 25 words or less. So I say.
Worse than a Twitter.
I
All those characters. That's right.
say. Augury bad. Can't go in city.
That's
Need
you're
to-
counting syllables.
Need to turn around.
I
That's-
make
that's it.
distraction.
And then after he says that, I say out loud for everybody. I just remembered I forgot my journal in the tent, and I turn around and move to go back to the tent.
How mean do I want to be? Mean. You turn.
Are these all guards? Which ones are guards?
These three.
Okay.
Isn't like everybody else? Isn't everybody else like
They're-
kind of?
I don't think we
Humming,
have time to go through all like that.
It's.
Okay.
We're not gonna.
Oh dear.
So they move to block. The mage pulls a wand out of his cloak and fires it into the air in a great red streak. And you hear bells begin to toll. And that is where we'll end tonight's session.
Fuck!
Well, the good news is someone created a distraction. So.